We got big time problems with that motor, buddy. Hey, just between you and me, the idea is to avoid the other cars. Congratulations! You just set the sport back 30 years with that move. That move will put you in the Hall of Shame. You keep doing stuff like that and we're gonna lose our sponsor. Looks like that's it for us today. Now I know why you got canned by your old team. It's over. We can't fix that damage. Your car is toast. You'll need a tow back to pit lane. Press and hold your reset button and we'll come and get you.
I can do this. Come on. Almost there. Come on, come on. Almost got it. Got it. Almost got it. Woo!
Quinn, we really appreciate the enthusiasm, but the truck is definitely much better.
Yeah. Well, mine's faster.
Good Greek, moving and soaring. Your superhero movers.
Welcome, race fans, to Pit Stop TV. We're live to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch tonight, all three finally. Cole Freilich and Victor Vallee with me in the booth. I'm Andrew Cardinale IV, and this is Pit Stop TV's live coverage of the StarCom racing. Guys, I'm already just so into SRC on Thursdays, but we have the StarCom Racing Sim Racing Invitational at Talladega Superspeedway. We join you tonight from the virtual Talladega, Alabama, for tonight's 75-lap event. Located along I-20, Talladega Superspeedway's historic 2.66-mile D-shaped superspeedway has played host to NASCAR, ARCA, and more for over 50 years. Built in 1969 on an unassuming stretch of land suited for farming, Alabama International Motor Speedway, as it was originally known, was built to be the biggest, baddest, fastest NASCAR track, and it still is. Known commonly now as Earnhardt Country, Talladega Superspeedway brings out the best in drivers and the worst in crashes, forcing drivers to battle each other inches apart at 200 miles an hour. Cole, everybody wants to win races, but there's something special about Talladega. The best of the best have won here, and it takes legitimate skill, sometimes luck, but legitimate skill to best the best here at Talladega Superspeedway.
Yeah, Talladega is one of the most famous tracks in the country just based on the fear it gives the drivers. There's a couple of drivers in our field tonight that have experience at Talladega, those being Quinn Half and Derek Cope, 1990 Daytona 500 champion. They have the restrictor plate experience. Quinn Half currently competes in the Cup Series, so he knows a thing or two about the package they're running tonight. Ain't that right, Victor?
That's exactly right. And not only do we have experience in the field for Cup Series drivers and former Cup Series drivers, but we also have a bunch of other drivers in the field that are running that have experience either behind the scenes in NASCAR or have done iRacing for many years now. So it's definitely a stacked field of drivers, and I can't wait to see what any of these drivers are going to do. I guarantee you they're going to put on a great show tonight for you fans at home.
Yeah, we've got a lot of really good drivers out here tonight, and I'm really excited to see how they do. It's not often that you have some of these guys out here, especially, for example, Derek Cope and Quinn Huff. We don't see them on iRacing just any day, so to have those two in here especially, and the rest of the SCR crew, the StarCom Racing guys, really cool to have some solid names out here. As actually we see a wreck down the back straightaway here in practice, but you know, these guys are actually taking some time to legitimately get used to things out here, and they're going to be having a driver's meeting here in about a minute, and then they're going to be let loose for a few more minutes of practice. Then they're going to re-qualify. Now, if you haven't been following along on StarCom Racing's social media, these guys had qualifying in heats last night, Wednesday night, April the 29th, and the field was not quite set for the lineup, but at least the drivers that are getting in tonight was set from that, and Michael Cozy Jr. was the winner of last night's heat, and it's really good to see these guys have to go through like a multi-day format. You don't see that very often on iRacing, so that's pretty cool to see that kind of multi-day format for the average Joe to have to race their way in. And I should also mention you're going to see tons of sponsored cars on the racetrack by a bunch of StarCom Racing sponsors. You might want to get accustomed to some of them. We have some of the actual sponsor logos that are going to be scrolling across the bottom left of your screen here, so you can see kind of the logo and then match that to the car. I know one of them is going to be the number 12. That's going to be Tucker Scanlon in the units storage machine. We've got him in pit road right now, and there's several others. I know Good Greek has a car in here. Mane and Tail, of course, with sponsoring Derek Cope for years and years now. So several sponsors getting into this event, Permatex as well, and it's really cool to see that kind of support today, Cole.
Yeah, indeed, and it's going to be awesome because a lot of these guys in the field who are sim racers, 22 drivers were added from those heats to mention. But a lot of those guys have their own sponsors in the race aside from just StarCom.
Yeah, that they do, and it's quite interesting to see a lot of these sponsors get behind this, and I'm glad they have. I mean, a lot of great sponsors. Of course, we just mentioned them for StarCom Racing, and StarCom themselves getting behind this. It was kind of one of those things that I didn't really expect to see this happen this week, but StarCom stepped up and they decided, you know what, we're going to have something fun for the fans. They said no pros. We're just going to have, and I just said, and it's funny, I just contradicted myself when I said that, but at the same time, no pros doesn't mean that you don't have good drivers in the field, but, it's great to see a lot of sponsors step up and actually embrace this very well, for sure.
Absolutely. They say no pros on their Facebook post about the race, but of course you have Derek Cope and Quinn Huff, just to name a couple, and then again several of the StarCom Racing crew members are out here, and we even have some pretty fast guys from the iRacing domain. Of course, Michael Cozy Jr. winning last night's heat. He's one of them. I see Tyler Justice in the field, Elliot Henderson, Nate Stewart, several heavy hitters I think that have a chance of winning. I also see Carson Poindexter. I know his name from some Legends car racing down here at Charlotte last year. I was with one of the crews for the Bojangles Summer Shootout, and I heard Carson Poindexter's name a lot, so I'm going to be watching that for that number 1 car tonight as well. I see several others. Vincent Picciotti, actually am very surprised and happy to see him. He comes from the Mane and Tail group, so I'm glad to see that he is out there, and I see several other cars that I think have a really good chance at winning. And again, we mentioned that these guys raced their way in last night to be able to race. They're going to re-qualify here in a few moments after we have the drivers meeting, after we talk to a couple of drivers, and they're going to re-qualify to actually set their starting lineup. So none of this is set just yet. They're going to requalify. We'll see who goes on pole. We're going to cover that for you here at Pit Stop TV. And, you know, one thing I noticed in practice a little bit is these guys definitely had a couple of issues, of course. That happens in practice. That's what practice is for. We saw a couple of big wrecks, and hopefully we get that worked out before the race here, Cole.
Yeah, it's always going to be kind of a weird factor during the practice, see all the big wrecks and stuff. But once we get to racing here, I anticipate it kind of single filing out. We got 75 laps tonight, so a lot of these guys are probably going to use their experience from NIS or something like that, the sim racers at least. They're going to kind of chill towards the back or just chill in general and probably run single file for a few laps, and then once we get towards the end, it's going to get a little crazy.
Yeah, and I know a lot of these guys run other leagues and whatnot. I know Michael Cosi Jr. runs a league Friday night that runs only Super Speedway racing, so we got a couple of Super Speedway aces out here. You know, Travis Brown, another one of those guys, I can definitely say has that experience. And I've seen them work their way through the field in those Friday night events that they run typically. And that's for money too, so they understand what's on the line tonight with that $100 gift card to Amazon. So they're definitely going to be ready for it, and we got a lot of other guys out here that are definitely ready to go for the money.
Yeah, thanks for mentioning that, actually, Victor. I kind of spaced on that. These guys are racing for a $100 Amazon gift card, which I think right now, especially with everything going on in the real world, is pretty important, actually. That could get you a couple of really good things, or even just a couple of movies to watch. Sit down and kind of forget about the world there for a second. So that could actually be a really nice gift to get for winning this race. So we'll have to see who can best the rest and go out there and win after 75 laps at Talladega. We mentioned it's not easy to do. You generally do have to be one of the best of the best. That being said, I think there have been several instances, there we go, even in real life, where we've seen people kind of just luck into wins here at Talladega, and that's certainly something to think about as well here, Cole.
Yeah, one of those instances could be argued. It is Tony Stewart's little infamous 2008 win at Talladega. Obviously, that was through the luck of the draw because of Regan Smith going below the double yellow line. But a lot of drivers over the years have just lucked themselves into wins here at Talladega, but a lot have just held off the field and prayed to God they didn't get caught up in the wreck.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's a lot of the a big part of it is just surviving the race. And as we just said, you know, a lot of these guys have the experience of surviving the race here at Talladega, and you know, we got guys like Derek Cope out there and Quinn Hoff who have done it in real life, so hopefully that experience pays off for them tonight. Then we have guys out here like Michael Cosi Jr. and Travis Brown and Marshall Newton who've done it every Friday night in another league, and I'm sure there's more guys out there that have done this in other leagues and other iRacing events. I mean, we just had Talladega for the NASCAR iRacing series and the A Open and whatnot last week on the service, so a lot of these guys already, you know, cut their teeth last week and are ready to do it again.
Yeah, it's good that you bring that up, actually, Victor, because
hey man, you can go ahead and grab Mike and Matt. They both want to talk, and you can ask them, you know, a couple questions if you want to.
Gotcha. Thank you, Ryan. We are live right now.
Cool.
Thank you for that, though. So we do have a couple of guys actually, as he mentioned, to grab. We have Matt Kohler actually in the waiting, so we're going to go ahead and grab him, talk to him. And let's see, Matt Kohler, do you have a copy?
I do.
Well, Matt, we were told you have a couple of things to talk to us about, so we are live to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We're happy to have, first of all, StarCom Racing alongside of us and be working with you guys, and it was cool just to talk to you guys on Tuesday and the realization that this was all actually happening. And you know, since then, throughout the week, putting in some work to get this to look the best that we can, and here we are now. It's coming to fruition, and I think it's gonna be a pretty cool event.
Yeah, I mean, we're all really excited about this. I know it's an incredible experience to get the fans involved, to be able to do iRacing with Quinn Hoff and Derek Cope. We got some members of the team on board here. We have myself, one of the team owners. My brother Mike is in this as well, so you got to watch that Kohler versus Kohler rivalry here. That's going to be exciting to watch. But yeah, everybody's excited about it. It's kind of kind of a crash course for us to all get in in racing mode, but we're ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, so actually, I guess this is perfect timing because you guys, of course, have been getting some tentative schedules from NASCAR, and we see that we finally have the first date that we have to look forward to at Darlington here in a couple of weeks. How are you guys at StarCom Racing, I guess, trying to get through this situation and get ready for Darlington now on May 17th?
Well, we couldn't be more excited to get back to racing, to finally be able to announce, over the past few weeks, we've been having conversations with NASCAR, and they've obviously had huge obstacles to overcome to be able to get back to racing here. But they're following all the CDC guidelines and working with all the local municipalities and state governments and making sure that we're in compliance and being safe about this and being smart about it, but ready to put a product on the track for everybody to watch. I mean, nobody's able to watch sports right now, and this is a good opportunity for us to get back in front of the fans and give everybody something to watch and be excited about.
Yeah, absolutely. And we have the honor of kind of playing into that whole just giving the fans something to look at. Of course, Fox has done a great job with the NASCAR Pro Invitationals these last few weeks on Sundays. But now we get to bring you guys Quinn Huff and Derek Cope and the rest of you StarCom Racing guys that especially, we don't usually hear about the guys back at the shop. We just hear about the guys in the car. So tell us a little bit about what we can expect from you guys back at the shop. They're going to try and do your best here tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I know that we have some of our team members that have been doing this a lot longer than myself and my brother, and we have Billy Wallman, my other business partner here. His son Nick jumped in as well. So it's we're again, I hate to use the pun, crash course, but we've kind of thrown this together over the past couple weeks to get ourselves iRacing and get simulation setups, and been putting a lot of hours in to try to be somewhat competitive tonight. So.
For sure. Well, as we get ready to get racing here in about 5 minutes, we've had some sponsor logos ticking across the bottom left of the screen here, but who do you have to thank for backing this and getting it all together?
Well, I mean, the person that actually put this together, I got to give my brother Mike credit for putting this together. He thought that it would be a good thing. He saw, that iRacing has been getting a lot of fanfare while racing is on hold. So he was the one that put that together. But I mean, to tell you the truth, we want to have all of our sponsors that are involved. We have Creek, we have Good Grief Movers, we have Permatex, we have Superior Essex, Sherfit Companies. I'm sure that I'm missing some here. I should have had a list as I went. But we have a Mane and Tail. We have all of our sponsors to thank that are sticking with us here throughout this time as well, with the uncertainty of when races are going to start. So we wanted to at least show them something and should put their paint schemes on these cars and show them that we're appreciating their support throughout all this.
Absolutely. Well, I haven't gotten a chance actually to look at your car, but we're going to go ahead and do that live. Tell us about the sponsor that you do have on your number 10 machine tonight.
It's actually the 01. I decided the 01 was my car. It's for the Duke boys, for Duke's a hazard. But I have Superior Essexes on my car. They're a fiber optic cable manufacturer, communications partner of ours on the StarCom fiber side.
All right. Well, thank you for your time here, Matt. We'll see what you can do out there in the number 01, and best of luck to you.
I appreciate it, guys. Listen, if I crash out in the first lap or two, then maybe I'll get on and do some commentary with you guys.
Hey, sounds great to us. We'll be hopefully you don't crash out, but if you do, we'll be looking for you.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for all your hard work putting this together.
Thanks for having us. And that was Matt Kohler back at the StarCom Racing shop, and definitely good to kind of get that insight as to what these guys are doing to make sure they are prepared. As we did finally get the official date as to when the NASCAR Cup Series will be back in action this May 17th at Darlington Raceway, and then we have a few others that are going to come up right after it. We have, I think, a turnaround for an Xfinity race just a couple days after, then another Cup race the day after that. I think the Cup races are going to be Sunday, Wednesday, starting May 17th, just rotating each week, and from Darlington to Charlotte, then tentatively to places like Bristol and Martinsville, places that are close by to the Charlotte area. And hopefully we can get to more tracks soon enough, but it's always hard to tell. But as we get ready to go racing here shortly, we have qualifying waiting in the wings, but practice finishing up right now. Cole, how about you take us through our top 10?
All right, well, the top 10 right now is going to be Tucker Scanlon, P1 right now, Tyler Justice P2, Marshall Newton P3, Andy Triano is 4th, Michael Cozy Jr., we talked about him earlier, winning the heats, he's 5th, Nate Stewart running our logo on the car tonight, he's 6th, Quinn Huff is going to be 7th, Elliot Henderson 8th, Jordan Miller 9th, and Frank DeAngelis is going to be 10th.
Just outside the top 10 is Derek Coker in the number 12 straight arrow main and tail machine. Travis Smalling going to be P12, P13, Vincent Piccolotti, Craig Arvantes in the 43 is right there 14th, Dwayne Franklin 15th, Chris Harefield 16th, and then as we make our way down in the field, actually, excuse me, I was a couple positions off there. Dwayne Franklin 16th, Chris Harefield 17th, Evan Pineda 18th, Gabe Herschel, not Heschel, it's two different people. We gotta make sure we get that clear tonight. 19th, and then Carson Poindexter rounds out your top 20.
Then we got Matthew Neiman, Peter Acumano, Noah Valero, Michael Sherfick, Michael Kohler. That rounds out your top 25. Actually, Jason Larrabee in the 00 moves up to 25th. Then it's Michael Kohler, James Loveland, Will Byer, Andrew Ball, Matt Kohler, who we just spoke to, in the number 01. He's scored in the number 10. That's why I said number 10. But on the car, it does say number 01. Further back, William Galway, Garrett Strakota. I hope I'm nailing that. I think I am. Garrett Strakota, Ryan Ewing, Jake Herman, Nick Wolleman, Travis Brown, and Daniel Smallwood round out your 30. We've got 37 connected. It was supposed to be a 36 car field, but I think we're rolling with 37 tonight. Still right in that neighborhood. And I mean, that's pretty close guesswork, I'd say. But as we get ready to go, we are going to have one message for you from a sponsor. It's Good Greek Moving, and then we'll be right back.
I can do this. Come on. Almost there. Come on, come on. Got it. Got it. Woo! Told you.
Quinn, we appreciate the enthusiasm, but the truck is definitely...
Yeah. Well, mine's faster.
Good Greek moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
Welcome back, race fans, as we get ready to go qualifying here. We got 5 minutes of qualifying, 2 laps for each of these drivers, and we're going to see them take these 2 laps whenever they want. And something to keep in mind here, we're familiar with it, Cole and Victor, but everybody else at home might not be, even some of these drivers might not be. There are differences in the weather that could play into the lap time these guys set, so you might see some of these guys wait for a cooler track temp, maybe the wind to shift or pick up. And right now, I mean, a lot of cars getting straight out onto the racetrack. Carson Poindexter, Elliot Henderson, Thomas Smalling, a few of those. Got Garrett Strakota out there, Nate Stewart. Several cars getting straight to the racetrack. We're on Elliot Henderson now, but already these guys just want to set their lap time, Cole.
Yeah, and I'm watching Nate Stewart currently on my screen. He's kind of been just cruising around slow. I don't know if that's really a strategy for him to try to burn off fuel or what, but he's just been running slow around the racetrack. So maybe some tricks up to play here, but Elliot Henderson coming through the tri-oval, about to start his first lap on the track. Usually the second lap is going to be quicker, so he's going to probably ride the wall around the track for the first lap.
Yeah, so we're going to see these guys all just roll the top side this first lap out. Elliot Henderson doing a great job of that. You want to keep it right above those white dashes, as close to the wall as you can, without scrubbing any tire, without scrubbing any speed. Because, of course, if you turn the wheel a little bit too hard, you're just going to be scrubbing that right front along the racetrack and rubbing it off and slowing yourself down. So it's really an art qualifying at these plate tracks, at like Talladega and Daytona. And even some of the 1.5s and 2-mile speedways have been kind of turned into that with this new cup package. But it really is an art going fast, because you have to get it just right. You have to do everything correctly. A couple other cars on the racetrack, Will Byler, Peter Acumano, and several others, Jordan Miller. The fastest lap right away goes to Jay Herman in the number 24, then Jordan Miller actually in the number 40.
Yeah, and then Well, now, yeah, it's Jordan Miller first. Byler just went up to P2. Jason Larrabee is third. Elliot Henderson's going to be fourth. Actually, Matthew Kohler just went up to fourth, and everybody's getting their laps in now. Elliot Henderson, though, on his flyer lap, down the back straightaway, kind of keeping it off the yellow line there. You want to get it down on the yellow line in the corner, but you don't want to get over the yellow line because you'll get loose, and that'll cost you a lot of times. One small bobble here in qualifying can cost you a lot of time. Elliot Henderson gluing that car to the yellow line, though, coming off of turn 4. He's going to be hoping for a good lap here.
Some other cars bringing their cars across the start-finish line. I was going to say Quinn Huff to fastest time so far, but that quickly changed. Now Thomas Smalling to P1. He's currently got the pole. Tyler Justice just behind him. Then Daniel Smallwood, Elliot Henderson currently fourth. A new fastest lap goes to Travis Brown on the 01 car. At least scored as the 01. The 01, of course, Matt Kohler. He let us know about that. Tyler Justice then falls to third. Vincent Picciotti, in 10th right now. Carson Poindexter up into the top 10. He's now 6th. So a lot of these guys already finishing up their Q runs, and a minute and a half left to run here. There are still some cars going around the racetrack. Notable would be Michael Cozy Jr., who won last night's heat, the number 99, I think, coming around to complete his second lap, as he's right on that yellow line, Cole, coming around the tri-oval.
Yeah, Michael Cozy Jr. coming to complete the lap here. It's going to be good enough.
Welcome back, race fans, to Pit Stop TV. Our deepest apologies for those technical difficulties. A power surge here locally is taking us out of action here for 20 laps, unfortunately, but we are back live. We are going to cover the remainder of this race. This is the StarCom Racing Sim Racing Invitational. Currently, your leader, Travis Brown. Cole, Victor, you guys have been here the whole time. We've been trying to work things out in the production side of things, and I'm going to continue working on that here momentarily, but take us through the action so far and what just caused that caution.
Well, we had a pretty big accident there that started with, I believe, Alex Russell in another car, and then Alex lost the car, hit the 56, and away they went from there. Derek Cope got through it. Quinn Huff did not. Quite a few cars in that one. Elliot Henderson, another one of them. Vincent Picciotti, I believe he was in that as well. We saw some three-wide racing early on, though, and it was pretty entertaining there for the most part. But it just led to an eventual wreck, which kind of happens here at Talladega.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just part of the super speedway racing. You know, everybody's going for those little spots on track. It's all about the real estate here and track position at Talladega. And unfortunately, those things happen. With that said, however, it looks like so far it's been all Travis Brown as he's going to pit from the lead. He's actually going to get beat out of pit road by Carson Poindexter, I do believe, right here. So Travis Brown will no longer have control of this race. And we'll go ahead and recap you here. So far, we've had 2 cautions for, I believe, about 9 laps.
All right, well, while we're at it, we're going to go ahead and get Nate Stewart in here. He's running our colors for tonight, so we're going to interview our first guy of the night. Nate Stewart, you got a copy? Nate, you got a copy?
Yes.
Well, Nate, you're 2 laps down right now. I heard you had some unfortunate issues earlier, but how's the car feeling out there?
Well, it was good when we were up in the pack and stuff, riding around 7th, and, you know, had that stuff happen. You know, this is just sim racing. Sometimes real life can happen, and, you know, you have to pull over. It happens, but, you know, I was back there in a single file line, and it was feeling good. Just happy to be a part of this.
Well, you're carrying the Pit Stop TV colors. Hopefully you can get up there for the rest of the night. But who do you got to thank for putting this all together for you?
Well, obviously got to thank StarCom Racing for putting this on, letting us have this chance. Ryan Daly let me in. Andrew for painting this car, Whiplash Media, Pit Stop TV, of course. On the side of my car, you guys are broadcasting right now, so I kind of have to thank you. Commonwealth Stain for coming on board for all of 2020, and my team at Sim Performance Group. Really good that I'm part of them, and they're helping me out a lot.
All right, well, thanks for joining us up here, Nate. Hopefully we're talking to you at the end of this deal.
Hopefully I can get my lap back. We'll see.
All right, so that was Nate Stewart, driver of the number 13 at Commonwealth Stain and Pit Stop TV Toyota Camry. Beautiful number 13 car. A flashback to Derek Cope's 1998 paint scheme.
Yeah, and beautiful paint scheme, and we're talking about Pit Stop TV, and we're going to bring back the owner of Pit Stop TV here, Andrew Carnally IV. So, Andrew, how you doing tonight?
The honest answer would be awful. We just had those issues, and again, deepest apologies to everybody putting a lot of hard work and effort into this race. We were right there with you there, and then unfortunately, sometimes things happen. Nate mentioned some things that happened on his end, and unfortunately, we were not any different in that, and had our issues. We're back. Can't tell you how defeated I feel right now, but we're gonna get this back rolling, and we're gonna make the best of the next 50 laps that we've got, guys. And to be totally honest, I have no clue how the race has gone so far, but if it's anything like any other Cup race here at Talladega on iRacing, it's going to be exciting for the next 50 laps. Ladies and gentlemen at home, of course, Talladega is always exciting to a point, but I think these Cup cars have really accentuated things, and I know this new Cup package has been rather polarizing, guys, but one thing I have to say is these new Cup cars, the big spoilers, there's, Dale Jr. so aptly said, the big-ass spoilers in the backs of these race cars, and the massive spoilers, or splitters rather, it really tends to put on some decent racing. I think this, at least on the sim, has made some really good racing out of this package. It's certainly made things more exciting. Of course, there for a while, when iRacing first introduced this package to these Cup cars at Talladega and Daytona, it raised temps through the roof, and it really made people race up to the front and then have to dip out and cool their cars down. It's messed with some fuel mileage things a little bit, and it's really proved to be a wild card for these iRacers here, and I think it puts on a really, really good show.
Yeah, it does put on a good show indeed, and these cars generate such a massive run. It's really a package designed for pack racing. It's anybody's dream package for a pack race, with how we've got the cars with the giant spoilers, the airflow on the front end. It's just an amazing package what NASCAR's provided us with, and the iRacing service within itself. But we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna review what the top 10 is right now. Chris Harefield is your leader. Dwayne Franklin is second. Or actually, we might be changing up here at the line. No, this is official. Ryan Ewing, he is third. Will Byler is fourth. Carson Poindexter is fifth. Travis Brown, sixth. Michael Cozy Jr. in seventh. Matthew Neiman is eighth. Thomas Smalling is ninth. And rounding out your top 10 is Evan Pienta.
Then going back to about P11 right now, you have Jordan Miller in the number 40 running P11. Alexander Russell, who got caught up in that accident right there, the big one, running 12th. Good recovery for him. Elliot Henderson, 13th, who was also caught up in that, so I believe they both used their fast repairs on that accident. Tyler Justice, 14th. Daniel Smallwood, 15th. Quinn Huff, 16th. Andy Trupino, 17th. Garrett Shakota, 18th. Marshall Newton, coming from the back, 19th, biggest gainer in the field so far today, I do believe. And then Andrew Ball rounds out your top 20.
So 37 cars in all. Looks like several of those cars are done for the day. Currently, Nick Wolleman in 37th, 23 laps down. Looks like he only made it about a lap and then unfortunately has called it quits for the night. Some other cars that are towards the back: Jake Herman 6 laps down, Michael Sherfick 3, Derek Cope as well 3 laps down back there with Jason Larrabee and Nate Stewart. Matthew Kohler is 2 laps down. Then you got William Galway and Tucker Scanlon back there, also 2 laps down. Michael Kohler only 1 lap down, and he's the only car 1 lap down, so we might see him rejoin the action here before too long. Chris Harefield, though, currently your leader as we pace through turn 4.
Yeah, and I believe once we get back to going green here, it's going to provide an extra just intensity rate, because we are officially 24 laps. We're going to be on lap 25 when we take the green flag. Chris Harefield going to lead them down to take the green flag. Wayne Franklin next to him. Ryan Ewing is in 3rd. Will Byler 4th. And we're going to see when Chris Harefield goes. A lot of guys usually wait till the green actually comes out, but I've seen a few guys go early, so it's going to be interesting to see this restart. And we are green at Talladega once again. Chris Harefield leads them down to turn 1.
Down to turn 1, got to point out the top 4 did not pit, so Byler, Ewing, Franklin, and Harefield did not pit. Ewing has damage to the back of that Adam Petty throwback that he's running right now. Carson Poindexter to first out there with fresh tires and fuel in that machine.
So as these guys get back up to speed down the back straightaway, 4 wide into turn 3, actually. Tyler Justice up there and just put someone in the fence. I'm not sure who that was along the top side of the racetrack. We'll have to see if we can figure out who that was. Tyler Justice, though, in the Exalted colors, unfortunately, just kind of gave a bit of a door to someone out on the top lane. They were 4 wide into turns 3 and 4, and that never really works out too well. You can do 3 pretty easily here at Talladega, but 4 is kind of pushing the limit. It's 3 wide through the entire front pack.
Yeah, we got about 3 wide, 4 to 5 rows deep. That is Chris Harefield on the bottom. That's going to be Alex Russell leading that middle line. And then all the way up on the outside, that's Ryan Ewing. That 3rd lane starting to fizzle out now. Side by side, down the back straightaway. Battle for the lead right now. It's going to be interesting. It's a dead heat heading into turn 3. Travis Brown pushing Alex Russell on the outside. Michael Cozy Jr. behind them. And then Chris Harefield leads the bottom with Carson Poindexter pushing him.
Those two, the 01 and 99, they work together really well right there. So Travis Brown and Michael Cozy Jr., those two are people to look for here. They work together really well. Alexander Russell also has experience working with them, but more so the 01 and 99, that Moon Vision Ford Mustang and the Winval Chevrolet Camaro there, and working really well together right now. But don't look now, here comes Poindexter and Elliot Henderson on the outside trying to get back up to him.
Henderson, the black, green, and purple, number 37, giving a push to Poindexter there as a car jumps up top. That was Harefield jumping in between Poindexter and the back end of Cozy. Now Cozy and Brown go back down to the bottom side. They want to protect that lead. They are in front of Alexander L. Russell, and the number 30 scored in the number 32. As you can see him there on your ticker on the left side of the screen. Scored as 32. He appears as number 30 in the paint scheme. But now Chris Harefield getting rung back up on the top side. He's got Poindexter to help. Henderson behind him. Then it looks like it's going to be Evan Pienta and Tyler Justice. As a new fast lap there from the number 43 car.
Yeah, that momentum swing's heading towards the outside, but it looks like on the back straightaway the momentum's going to go back to the 2 cars of Cozy and Travis Brown. Travis Brown, he's been up front all race long in that Moon Vision Ford Mustang with Michael Cozy pushing him. And speaking of Michael Cozy, that Winval 8820, that is his YouTube channel. A lot of fans know him for his love of StarCom racing. He's been a big supporter of the team throughout the years. But look who's making a run up into the front pack now. It's Quinn Huff. He's up on the outside behind Elliot Henderson.
Yeah, how about that? Quinn Huff out of nowhere is really, I didn't really see him coming this far through the pack. He's made huge gains so far for Quinn Huff. One to watch for right now in that Permatex Chevrolet Camaro.
And Quinn Huff, of course, StarCom Racing's Cup Series driver, and he's put on a pretty good show in these first few weeks of the season. Of course, we've had this situation in the real world that has obviously sidelined the sport, but through the first few races, he was looking pretty promising there in the 00. He's got the Permatex colors on tonight. They're behind Elliot Henderson, so we'll have to see what he can do May 17th in the NASCAR Cup Series. Returns to action. No fans, of course, at the racetrack, but at least racing returning to well, the world. And it's going to be good to see NASCAR getting back to action. He's currently 8th, riding in the second lane up as Poindexter gets shuffled out, that white car up top of the racetrack.
Yeah, it looks like Carson went to make a move on the outside of Chris Harefield. Elliott Henderson now hangs out Harefield. That's going to be Travis Brown in the middle. Elliott now helps. Quinn Huff goes with him, so move Quinn Huff up to, I believe this is going to be 6th or 7th. Or no, he's actually going to let Harefield back in. It looks like everybody's kind of biding their time, but they are side by side down the back straightaway. And that's kind of the way things go with this Cup package. You want to take it easy going into the first part of this race, because once you get to about the halfway point, you can start pushing. But late in the going, this package that the Cup cars currently have, it allows you to just go for it. You can get up to the front in 10 laps. It's very possible with how this Cup package is. Elliott Henderson, though, trying to push Travis Brown back around the outside of Michael Cozy Jr.
Still got one more pit stop left for these guys still a long
Crash
way
in
to
the
go
back,
in
crash
this
in the
race.
back.
Yeah, we do have a wreck in the back. No yellow yet. We're going to keep it green.
There was 2 cars that spun off in the tri-oval. I'm not sure who those
Well,
were.
it looks like
Ryan
Frankie
Ewing
Inglis.
seems to be one of them. He was slow there.
Or maybe
Got a
Dwayne
couple.
Franklin, another one. It
Yep.
looked like a yellow car, so it could be him that was involved
Yep, that
in
was
that.
Frank DeAngelis there in the 69, and then also Peter Cumano in the 25. Those two were involved in that, but it looks like they've gotten the cars back going here, so looks like we're going to stay green here.
They always stay green through the triangle one more time to complete lap number 31 of 75, and that's Russell finally passing Cozy back for the lead, so put Russell up to P1, Cozy down to 3rd actually, as Travis Brown edges ahead of the 99 there for at least the moment. Travis Brown, the 01 black and pink car up top of the racetrack, Elliott Henderson behind him. It looks like he's got help there from Harefield, so those 3 getting lined up, and they seem to be a pretty stout little group right there. Quinn Huff in behind them. Then you've got Chris Arvantes, we're going to say Chris Arvantes. That's a bit of an interesting name there. The number 43 car, though, in up behind Quinn Huff. He's actually got Vincent Picciotti right behind him. The number 3, Thomas Smalling, down on the bottom side. And these guys are all just kind of playing weight, but they all make a huge impact on the whole dynamic of this race, because what they do will affect the cars ahead of them, and that can change everything about how this race runs. Obviously, if they're not very strong, they can make the guys in front of them on either the bottom or the top side go a little bit slower, and that changes everything about how this race goes, from just who's leading to possibly when the wrecks come.
Yeah, definitely. If you don't have those guys lined up on the outside like they do, which it's a little spread out right now, but once we get later in the race, you'll see it kind of form up a little more. Everybody start to push everybody. One of the key things is you don't want to push whoever's pushing the guy in front of you, because that could spark a massive wreck. But you see these little 2-car tandems for the time being. You can kind of push until the temperature gets to about 286, 290 is about pushing it. But a lot of those guys will push the guy in front of them up to the front, let them get down. That way they can get the clean air, and then the guy behind them will push. So it's kind of like a chess game where you're just swapping the pieces around the entire time.
Yeah, I think Tony Stewart said it best. It's past the 200 miles an hour here at Talladega. Every move you make is going to change the complexion of this race. So, as you see right now, it looks like Travis Brown out to the front.
Whoa! And he just got turned. No!
Almost have a wreck, and we do.
That was Russell that got turned down the back straightaway, and they're all involved. I see Quinn Huff, Vincent Picciotti, Jordan Miller, and more cars coming into this one, and that's a lot of the field that just got taken out. The leader, Alexander Russell, was turned in front of the entire field, and that's what started that one off. We're going to try and get a replay up on your screen.
Yeah, I think that accident was actually caused by a little bit of a bad bump, possibly.
Yeah, it looks like just a miscommunication there, really, is the best way I can describe that.
So Elliott Henderson was pushing the 30 car, and it looks like, I'm not sure what happened there, but whatever Elliott did there to push him, it got Alex Russell out of shape. Alex tried to save it, and then he gets hit in the back by Chris Harefield, I believe that is, into Quinn Huff and the 90 car, and then the 77 comes in. Lots of cars piling into this. You see the 40 car on the bottom there. That is Jordan Miller. So a massive accident just triggered by a little bit of a bad bump.
Yeah, it just looks like he didn't hit him square, and that happens a lot in super speedway racing. We saw it in real life last fall, and that's what caused the big ones there, and I think we've seen it again here tonight.
Absolutely. Going on board for a couple of replays here of that incident. We're going to go back to the perspective of the number 28 car, Harefield, who kind of piled in there, nowhere to go, and ended up officially turning around the number 32 of Russell there to officially get that wreck going. But we watched on board there with Elliot Henderson, and yeah, it was a classic iRacing bumper hook. He got on the right side of the bumper and unfortunately just got that number 32 squirrely, and it was on from there. And then Harefield actually, I think, got pushed into it, and unfortunately there was no saving those race cars further back. I think Larrivee actually, I just flipped back to Larrivee kind of randomly. He got through it, so that's a name getting through there. Good to see him get through, but Quinn Huff and others just unfortunately nowhere to go. It looks like Matthew Neiman as well. Several cars getting taken out in this one, and that's really going to set them back. Actually, I will mention, it looks like Gabe Herschel, the Fitbit 07, actually was somehow able to tiptoe through that. Pretty slow, but that car looks clean.
Yeah, there was a lot of guys in that 9 car of Matthew Nyman. He was in that late the StarCom Fiber throwback scheme you saw run at Darlington last year. He kind of spun towards the inside. I believe he was trying to avoid the wreck and got hit by the spinning car of Jordan Miller. So, unfortunate for some of these guys, they were just passing by and got clipped by a car that was already in the wreck.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that at this point, it's one of those things where being up front is your best friend at this point. You have guys like Michael Cosi Jr. and Travis Brown, and of course, Elliot Henderson, who unfortunately did trigger that accident. I mean, he was up front far enough ahead of it that he really didn't make a difference to the situation there. So I think sometimes it's good to be up front. Sometimes you're lucky to be in the back or wherever you are in this race. There's not really a good spot to be in a super speedway race. And that's basically why we see all of these big accidents, is because you're going so fast and you're so tightly packed. It's just, at that point, you're just a passenger.
Yeah, absolutely. Sometimes you just have nowhere to go. And we definitely saw that, for example, Harefield. He ended up getting pushed into that, and he initially had nowhere to go, tried to slow down, and just got pushed into that wreck. And that's how quickly things happen here at Talladega. Just no time to react, and even if you can react, generally the guy behind you isn't going to have time to react. So unfortunately, that all happened really, really quickly. It didn't work out too well, but we are going to take one quick commercial break, and we'll be right back to you. This is Pit Stop TV with coverage of the StarCom Racing Invitational here at Talladega Superspeedway. And welcome back to the Talladega Super Speedway coverage of the StarCom Racing iRacing Invitational. And guys, been watching these guys get all lined up under caution here, and that big wreck really did take out some front runners. That being said, most of the guys we were talking about swapping the lead going to stay through that one. Travis Brown, Michael Cozy Jr., Elliott Henderson, they're all still up front. We should actually mention, though, Quinn Huff, a very damaged 00 Permatex Chevrolet, still out there on the racetrack on the top lane. You have to wonder if he's out of fast repairs.
Well, these guys were given 2 fast repairs, and I believe Quinn's only used 1. He's probably just riding around up there for now. Not sure when he's going to get that damage fixed. Maybe trying to save that last fast repair just in case we get another accident here. But Elliott Henderson, he's going to be in 5th back here, along with Marshall Newton to his outside. Noah Valero is going to restart 7th. Evan Pienta is going to be 8th. Jason Larrabee is going to be 9th. And Craig Arvantes is going to be P10 here.
Yeah, Marshall Newton working his way all the way up to P6 from 37th on the grid, so up 31 spots. Biggest mover tonight, definitely now. I know I mentioned that earlier, but he definitely is now. I don't believe he's used any of his fast repairs, nor has Elliott Henderson or the front row of Travis Brown and Michael Cozy Jr., but everybody else I think has used at least 1 for the most part. I think a couple other guys that are a little bit further back have not used their fast repairs either, but for the most part, it looks like most of the field has already used 1, so 1 of their 2 mulligans have already been used up here tonight.
So as these guys get ready to go back green here in just a moment, you have to wonder exactly how these guys are going to treat the rest of the race. Of course, still a lot of time left to race. That being said, things could change really, really quickly. You could suddenly be taken out of this race, and I don't know really where the safest place is. Obviously, we saw the leaders get through that. The guys, the mid-pack, they got taken out. Even some of the guys further back just had nowhere to go. It's tough to say exactly how you run the rest of this race. Still got half of the way to go as we come through the trial. We're ready to go back green flag racing. Travis Brown in control of your field. Michael Cozy Jr. on his outside, and we are back green from Talladega Super Speedway. Dead even across the start-finish line, racing into turn 1.
Yeah, it looks like Travis Brown had the best of those 2 restarts. The slow car of Quinn Huff is going to be in the way here. Some guys almost pushing it 4 wide there. Everybody's scattering, trying to avoid his race car right now. But back at the front, though, we got Travis Brown leading the field off of turn 2 with help from the 56 of James Loveland, and Elliott Henderson making the move to the outside. Michael Cozy Jr. going to tuck in behind that 2-car tandem on the low side. Here comes the 70 car of Jason Larrabee to the outside, trying to help Elliott Henderson.
Yeah, we had Noah Valero there and a couple other guys get really squirrely on the back straightaway, but they hung on to it here. Elliott Henderson and Michael Cozy Jr. going to try to go to the lead here with help from the number 7 here, trying to hang on to it. And it looks like Cozy's going to get to the outside, and he's actually going to take Henderson with him.
So these guys swapping the lead around. Cozy now to P1, Henderson to P2. That moves Travis Brown to 3rd after restarting first. Here comes Jason Larrabee around the top side with looks like help from James Loveland. No, that's Marshall Newton actually pushing that car, and it looks like Travis Brown going to go up to block and take that top lane away. So now Larrabee in behind Brown, and Larrabee actually dipping out to the top side. Henderson thinking about going high and getting in front of that 01 car. Can't quite do it. Looks like the 01 going to get to the right side of the 37, and he has massive help. Jason Larrabee on the move, pushing that 01. It looks like to the lead here by the start-finish line, possibly. Their momentum, well, actually, no, I think that got him the lead. Travis Brown, you were leader there at the end of lap 40 with help from Jason Larrabee. Now Larrabee out on the top side trying to cool that motor down, and you got to be careful there. That could turn him.
Yeah, you don't want to get too far on the right side. Just want to go back, though. The gap for the race lead there was 2 1/1000ths of a second as we see Elliott Henderson jump to the outside. An abrupt move. Travis Brown now going to push him down the back straightaway. Going to see if he can get it into turn 3 here. Still a little bit, I would say Michael Cozy Jr. is not all the way clear there from him, but they're going to be drag racing off of turn 4 here. Oh, Elliott Henderson with a big moment there. He saves the race car. Travis Brown going to still be pushing Larrabee to the outside now. So now we got 3 wide battling for the race lead here.
Side by side for the lead for the moment. It looks like Laravee's going to get hung out to the outside. Right now we have 2 packs forming right now. We have one up front and then we have one in the back. I think that's a lot of the guys who are going to play it safe, try to hang on to their faster pairs to the end. And we're going to have a caution come out, and I think it's going to be in the back pack.
Yellow is indeed out. Trying to search for who that is, though.
Trying to look for who that may have been. One possibility, possibly Michael Kohler. He was slow, or actually stopped by the time we got to checking for where that caution was. Going to try and look for where it might have come out.
It looks like William Galloway here in the 19. And it looks like the other car involved in that would be... Can't tell who the other car is right now. Matthew Kohler.
So it's a different Kohler going to be involved, and it doesn't look like we have a replay of that incident there for you, unfortunately. Still going to give it one more shot here. Going to try and find what happens here to the number 19 of William Galloway, but it's not looking promising, unfortunately, to find out what happened to that car towards the back of the pack. He is currently now 28th after this caution, and stuck in the pits there. You see the number 19 pretty crunched up, definitely looking a little bit worse for wear.
Yeah, and I haven't been able to see the incident myself, so because I haven't been able to find it. But that's going to be, I believe, our 3rd caution of the night. So 40 laps so far, 3 cautions. It's not really been too hectic of a race except for the battle up front.
I mean, I think it's been through the field in some ways it hasn't. For the most part, yeah, it's mostly been up front. It's been a hectic battle, and I think that's where a lot of our accidents have come from tonight, with the exception of our 3rd caution of the night, our most recent one, of course, with Galloway, and I believe the other person in that was Kohler. So those two definitely got together further back in the pack. I think they were just they were a little bit, their guard was down for just a moment, and that was kind of it. So we do have pit stops on the track. This should bring most of your leaders home on this final stop of the night.
Yeah, this should be the last one they need. We're within striking distance of the end of the race here, so we'll see how these guys tackle this round of pit stops. You have to imagine foreign fuel for these guys. You see the 77 here of, or actually 26 as scored, but 77 on the race car there of Noah Valero.
Oh, Derek Cope has crashed under caution here. Don't know what's happened to Derek, but his car is now sitting on the inside of turn 1 with the front end tore off.
So issues for Derek Cope under yellow. We're going to go ahead and see if we can't find out what happens to the driver of the number 12. And
ooh,
he was turned by
Michael Kohler just got in a back bumper over
oh,
he went.
Yeah, wow. Certainly, I think just a miscommunication under caution there. And we'll get one more replay on your screen. Definitely not good here.
That's StarCom on StarCom action right there. That's not what we want to see, definitely.
And you're going to see, I think Cope, Derek Cope was slowing down for the field ahead of him, and I don't think Kohler got the message, and unfortunately, piles in the back there. Derek Cope, the main and tail machine, going to go for a spin, nosed into the fence. Hopefully he has a faster pair in the bank to try and use and get back on the racetrack, but if not, Derek Cope could be in some trouble right here.
Yeah, definitely. That was a weird incident, though. Usually we don't see incidents under caution. But to reset the field for you, Chris Harefield's going to be leading once again. Carson Poindexter in 2nd. Will Byler is back up to 3rd. Jason Larrabee 4th. And Dwayne Franklin is going to be 5th.
Now, I don't believe Chris Harefield has pitted in this race, or at least not since the first caution of the night, so that leaves him a little bit questionable on fuel. Further back in the field, we have James Loveland, who's going to peel off here and hit pit road. So we're going to go ahead and wait until all of these guys hit the start-finish line before we move through the rest of the field in this race.
So Chris Harefield is going to stay out on the racetrack, and he will assume your race lead. He is actually on a stint of about 10 laps. He's out there with Carson Poindexter, Will Byler, and Jason Larrabee, even Dwayne Franklin. They're all on the same strategy, so we'll see how that works out for them. You have to wonder, of course, 30 laps to go here at Talladega. Probably going to have at least one more chance to pit under yellow. Would have to imagine we'll have at least one more incident that brings out a caution. With Michael Cozy Jr., the first car, on new tires and fuel. And it looks like it may have actually been just a 2-tire stop, possibly, maybe even just a little bit of fuel and no tires, because these guys all about 7 seconds, even 6 seconds for Craig Arvanites and Thomas Smalling and some others, even as low as 5.4 seconds for Thomas Smalling, actually. So some of these guys not opting for 4 tires and fuel. And, at least for most of us here on the sim, we don't usually take tires or worry about tires too much on plate tracks. But realistically, I think we probably should a little more, because it definitely does play into the handling of the race car. And if you don't take tires, you could have issues later on in the race, maybe just making moves. You probably won't have to worry about blowing a tire or maybe going straight into the corner, but the car could get a little bit squirrely or be less apt to make a move to the inside or outside, Cole.
Well, yeah, definitely. And you could also spin the tires on a restart. I've seen that happen to a few guys here on the service, especially here at Talladega. You wouldn't normally think that you can spin the tires at Talladega, but it's happened before. So just going in, getting those 2 tires, that could make the difference between messing up on a restart or just having a really good restart and taking the lead.
Yeah, and to update you on the Derek Cope situation, I think he's in pit road right now. I don't believe he has taken either of his fast repairs, but he currently looks like he's repairing the damage on pit road, so that was what scored him 2 laps down originally, and it looks like that's going to happen to him again, unfortunately. I'm not sure if he... somebody's got to fill him in on the fast repairs, I do believe, here, so... I don't think he's taken either of them, and he's going to be stuck on pit road for the time being.
And of course, these guys out here from StarCom Racing are out here just for a fun run. They want to run with some of the fans. They want to put on just a decent show for some people to just get some laughs, some fans to enjoy here as we work through these tough times in the real world. So I don't think there's any necessarily hard feelings there, of course. This is all just a fun race, and very thankful to StarCom Racing and some others for putting this on. Of course, we actually have, again, those sponsors that we can pull up right there. The bottom left of your screen, you're going to see them on several cars throughout the field. Good Greek Moving, Mane and Tail, and plenty others actually want to talk to you about some of those sponsors, of course. We'll go right back into Mane and Tail, actually. Makers of Mane and Tail shampoos, including the new Color Protect, Mane and Tail continues to create and provide exclusive hair and skin products for quality and performance in both the equestrian and personal care markets. You can visit www.maneandtail.com for more. Also want to give a quick thank you to Creek Enterprise Incorporated. They're an integrated information services company which has been in business since 2003. As a business partner, it is our mission to enable the digital experience for all our clients by designing, developing, and implementing efficient technical infrastructures through many different services, including iServices, ComSpec, engineering, telecommunications, construction, and Creek Plastics. For more information, visit the company's website at www.creekenterprise.com. Want to give a quick thank you as well to Superior Essex, a leading manufacturer and supplier of communications, cable, and accessory products, serving the communications industry and related distribution markets for over 80 years. Superior Essex is a trade name for Superior Essex International LP and other companies of Superior Essex Incorporated. SuperiorEssexCommunications.com. And as we get ready to go back green, we'll also go ahead and thank Sherfit Company, is a family-owned real estate development and construction business with extensive experience in commercial and residential construction and design. Michael and Gabby Sherfick team up on the designs, and Gabby takes care of all the important finishes that attract clients and home buyers from all around the globe. Gabby is also a licensed real estate agent and takes care of majority of those business relations. So as we come through the tri-oval pace car, already back down the pit lane, we'll have to talk about some more of those sponsors here in a moment. As we go green once again, Chris Harefield, your leader, Carson Poindexter on the outside.
Looks pretty dead even between those two. Chris Harefield getting the jump, though, early on. Carson Poindexter starting to pull back around the outside. He's going to have help from Jason Larrabee and Michael Cozy Jr. Those two are already lined up on the outside with the big push. Here they come. The two cars on the bottom. Jason Larrabee now makes a move down to the bottom. Whoa, big swing. That was Will Byler. He made a swipe up to the outside, it looked like, but Marshall Newton was there. Jason Larrabee now going to push Chris Harefield out to the front.
Now I'm going to say watch for Cozy Jr. and Newton. I know they've worked together in the past, but Cozy's going to hang Newton out to dry here, and they're going to have to wait for another chance to work together. I know they've worked together in the past, as it looks like Cozy's trying to make every move he can. He only took 2 tires to get contact between the 1 and the 20 there, trying to hang on to it as the top 3 start scooting away from the rest of the field.
Chris Harefield still your leader. He's got, it looks like, Jason Larrabee and Michael Cozy in tow. Will Byler, Marshall Newton going to complete your top 5. They're all single file. They're up in the front. Now Cozy goes to the outside. He looks to the outside of Larrabee, and he's going to take it there as well. Looks like he'll take that position here in a moment. Nose ahead of the 00 on the bottom side, or sorry, the 70. And it looks like you mentioned, Victor, Marshall Newton going to come to his aid. Poindexter behind. Then it's even Thomas Smalling there on the top side. And that's about a 5-6 car train up on the top lane. It looks like actually the number 3, no, that was, I think, Will Byler dipping down onto the apron there for a moment. Might have been Dwayne Franklin. Tough to tell with some of these cars. But, oh, they stack up behind him out of the triangle. 3, almost 4 wide across the start-finish line. Cozy and Newton, your leaders.
3 wide in the middle. That's Travis Brown coming back up through the field on the outside. It's the number 07. We got a yellow towards the back of the field, it looks like.
It looks like Michael Kohler going to be involved in this one. We'll try and get a replay up on your screen.
Michael Sherfick's going to be in that as well. It looks like the front end's tore off of that car.
It looks like it started up with Noah Valero there. Looks like him and the other 77 got into it here. Like a little bit of netcode possibly sent the 77 around, and a lot of these guys were just trying to avoid it, and that's what caused this accident.
Looks like we're going to have trouble bringing that incident as well. It was so far back out of the field that those cars weren't even rendered on our end, and it's not going to give us that replay, unfortunately. But back up to the front of the field, Marshall Newton then going to be your, Michael Cozy Jr. going to be your leader. Marshall Newton in P2 behind him. Chris Harefield third, Carson Poindexter fourth, Jason Larrabee rounding out your top 5. Going to take a quick commercial break. It's lap 50 of 75 in the StarCom iRacing Invitational. We'll be right back to you. And we join you once more from the Talladega Super Speedway, now coming to 24 laps to go, guys, in the StarCom Racing iRacing Invitational. And man, it's been a wild ride. We covered practice and qualifying. Everything was great. We had an issue with power right at the end of qualifying, about the worst time you can have it. We had 30 minutes of practice for it to happen, and of course it happens right as we're about to grid and take the green flag. Missed 20 laps of coverage, unfortunately, and again, we deeply apologize to StarCom Racing, the sponsors, and the fans for that issue. But we are back live. We're covering all the way to the end now, as you would expect, of course. But we are here, and we should be good to go. We foresee zero issues aside from, well, some of the issues we've had on the racetrack. And I shouldn't even say issues, just part of Talladega. A couple of big wrecks so far. We had one right at the front of the field a little while ago, a couple of smaller incidents further back, and, well, hopefully we go clean and green from here to the end.
Yeah, that would be the dream scenario. I don't see it really happening just because of the nature of Talladega. But Michael Cozy Jr., he's been sticking out up front all night long. He's leading the race right now with Marshall Newton behind him. Update on Derek Cope. We saw him on pit lane with the damaged race car. He is back on track now. Or, well, I don't think he's on track, but he's on pit lane with the car fixed. But the bad news is he's 9 laps down. So, unfortunate night for Derek. I believe he's out of the race now, actually, so that's unfortunate for him. But Chris Harefield, going back up to the front of the field here, he's going to restart P3. Carson Poindexter is 4th, and Jason Larrabee rounds out your top 5.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think Derek Cope is having some issues with the simulator, and he's been connecting and disconnecting from the session a couple times now. But going back through the rest of your top 10, Thomas Smalling, P6, Travis Brown, P7, Dwayne Franklin, P8, Gabe Herschel, P9. Haven't talked much about Gabe all night. And then finally rounding out your top 10 is Daniel Smallwood in the 88.
We should be taking the 1 to go this time by, at least for this caution. And guys, it's been a hectic race as we've covered, but none of this would be possible without some sponsors, and a couple of those that we do need to thank going to be Units as well. We've already gone through a couple, but we'll keep on going down the list. Established in 2004 in Charleston, South Carolina, Units Moving and Portable Storage was founded by Michael and Holly McColney during the emerging mobile storage and moving industry. The company's mission was to provide personal mom-and-pop type customer service and supply the most innovative and highest quality equipment. Units Moving and Portable Storage Delivery System is the most technologically advanced in the industry, virtually eliminating any shift in contents when lifting containers on and off transport vehicles. For more information, please visit www.unitstorage.com. And we're going to have to get me to figure out how to say technologically. There we go. I stumbled over that word in the middle of that, and that was not fun trying to get that one out. It's just part of it sometimes, getting tongue-tied in these races. But also got to thank Permatex. For 110 years, Permatex has been a leading manufacturer, distributor, and marketer of premium chemical products to the automotive maintenance and repair, home, and hardware markets. Products include gasket makers, sealants, cleaners, thread lockers, adhesives, repair kits, and lubricants under well-recognized brand names such as Permatex, The Right Stuff, Fast Orange, Spray 9, Versachem, and Devcon Home. And honestly, if you've been down any automotive store aisle at all, you've probably seen Permatex once or twice. I know from having worked in an automotive store previously, we got Permatex products all the time. And I don't think you can go into any automotive store, any hardware store at all without seeing just tons of Permatex products. Glad they're backing this event and backing StarCom Racing. And as we get ready to go back green here, a little over 20 laps to go, guys. Michael Cozy Jr., Marshall Newton in control of this field. We'll have to see how these guys try and play the restart a little bit, considering those two have been working together. And I'm sure they want to get back nose to tail on this restart, but they're starting side by side. Not exactly how you want to get nose to tail. Firstly, you need to be in front of one another. Right now, they're next to one another, coming down to the green flag. Base car peels off, back down to the pit lane, Cole.
Michael Cozy Jr. going to hold the field steady, hopefully go on green here, which is what most of the guys behind him are hoping, because Michael Cozy Jr. does not want to get too far out there. Yes, he wants to get in front of Marshall Newton, but the worst thing that's possible is getting too far out and getting hung out. But going back to talking about Permatex, Permatex has been a long-standing sponsor in NASCAR and ARCA, respectively. They used to sponsor Billy Venturini, so that's one of the notable people they used to sponsor. They have sponsored StarCom's efforts for the past 2 years.
Yeah, and as we get back up to Green Flag Racing here, we had a couple guys make a little bit of a jump there, a little bit of stepping on toes, and we have a little bit more stepping on toes going down on the back straightaway right now. But so far so good, and I'm gonna say that with knocking on wood, because of course we're about to go 3 wide here, a little bit further back in the pack.
Marshall Newton, Michael Cozy Jr., well, they figured it out how to get nose to tail. They lead the bottom side. Carson Poindexter around the top side. He is now your leader, at least on the top lane. He's got help from Smalling and Smallwood. So a small little group trying to run that top lane and get up to the front. Travis Brown behind them. It looks like Jason Larrabee tucking in behind Harefield there on the bottom side. So about 4 or 5 cars controlling each lane right now, bottom and top, and we'll see how that works out for them as they try to get this sorted out. I see this whole field is packed right back up. We saw a couple of restarts ago. Things got separated as Cozy jumps in front of Poindexter there on the top side. He wants to take the lead, and actually 4 wide contact there from Larrabee to Smallwood, or Smalling. Yeah, Smallwood. I'll figure that out. And actually for the back car on the bottom side, and there they go, wrecking in the back.
Big wreck behind them. That was Sparks. Whoa, we got one car still sliding. That is Dwayne Franklin. He's junked in this. Yeah, that was just a product of getting a little spaced out there. I saw Jason Larrabee kind of make a wild move heading into turn 3, and that kind of sparked this entire scenario.
And a couple guys there, you know, they went 4 wide into 3. Everybody was kind of checking up, trying to make their way around it and navigate through it. But unfortunately, 4 wide at Talladega going into turn 3 doesn't work very well, and especially with cars with varying speeds, it just is a product of this kind of racing, of seeing these accidents here, unfortunately.
On board with Dwayne Franklin, we're going to see this whole thing start up ahead of him, and unfortunately the field just ran out of room trying to avoid what was going on, taking evasive action. It looks like he's going to be one of the drivers involved in this pretty hard. You see the 7 get into him there, and he gets turned into the outside wall, hard hit into that outside fence, and several cars behind him involved in that as well. It's tough to keep track of everybody who was in that. I see Alexander Russell actually making it through. Slowly but surely. Andy Trupiano, though, was one of those cars that got turned down into the rest of the field, so we'll have to see what happens to Trupiano here in this incident. You mentioned Larrabee going for a big move that kind of stacked everybody up on the bottom side, and then it looks like the 9 going to get into, it looks like maybe the 66. We'll have to get a check on that. It at least looked like possibly the 66 car. Trying to look through our scoring list.
And, you know, I first said that Jason Larrabee made an abrupt move. I think that move was actually caused by a little bit of a reaction to Chris Harefield, because he went to bump draft Chris Harefield. Harefield got out of shape, and Larrabee kind of moved up the track to get out of the way there. Harefield kind of backed up, and then they were put in the situation of 4 wide. And then after that, we just had the problems at the back where guys were trying to check up, and there was just not enough room. And James Loveland was the first car to get turned in that.
Yeah, I said it was the 66. It was actually the 56 there of Loveland having issues and getting turned up the racetrack. And unfortunately, some really heavy hits there further back from some of those drivers. But what this does mean a little further forward is most of these drivers actually get a chance to save some fuel and make sure they have some insurance in case we get some green-white checkers. And that's always important on these plate tracks, to make sure you have a little bit of fuel insurance. And I think they're going to have what they need moving forward. We're going to try and drag a driver or 2 in. We'll see who we might be able to talk to real quick. But you know what? Let's go ahead and see if we can't dial up our leader, Michael Cozy Jr. And so, Michael Cozy Jr., do you have a copy?
Oh, is that my button?
That's the button. So you're leading this race right now. You finally got back nose to tail with your teammate there, Marshall Newton, but now you guys are going to restart side by side once more. What's the plan here, Michael?
Win.
It's a pretty solid plan, I'd say, with 19 laps to go. how's this race, at least from your perspective, gone for you so far? You won the heat last night, and right now you're leading in a pretty good seat to possibly win again.
Yeah, it's gone pretty good so far to plan. I want to get Travis up here, and he's falling back a little bit, but we're good on fuel, so we got that out of the way. We just need to get to the end here and see where we're at. But I got our resets. We're in a really good spot to bring this one home.
We're talking about some drivers having issues getting their resets to tank. Of course, we have some drivers that are newer to the sim, but you're a veteran, at least, of the sim, and I think that plays into having a couple of your resets left at this stage in the race. You've gone through 57 laps so far. You still have about 18 laps to go. How concerned are you that you might have to use one or two of those?
I don't think I'll be surprised if I have to use one. I'm just going to try to stay at the front as hard as I can. I don't think it'll be too terribly hard, but yeah, it seems like most of the problems become mid to back of the pack. So that was the plan going in. Stay ahead of it and not use a reset. So far, so good.
Well, hopefully that works out for you. I do have to mention Cole Freilich in the Pit Stop TV be with me tonight. Mentioned that you are a StarCom superfan, shall we say. And, of course, I've seen you run some StarCom-esque paints in some leagues that I've run with you previously. Why are you a fan of StarCom racing?
Well, it started because I won their Thanksgiving Day T-shirt giveaway when it was 2017, back when they were just getting into the sport. So that was when my man Dale Jr. retired. So I was like, yeah, we'll support the small teams. Love to see new teams come into the sport. So yeah, just kind of has grown into that, and yeah, I got all my my channel on board, all my followers and everybody, and we're trying to get StarCom on the map, baby.
Absolutely, I think that's a pretty good reason then to support a pretty good team working their way up the ranks. Before we let you go, though, Michael, do you have anyone to thank for this run so far?
Absolutely, yeah. Shout out to my teammate Travis Brown. Hopefully he'll get up here pretty soon. I want to thank my associate sponsors, the Indie Racing Images. Check them out, IndieRacingImages.com. I don't have my list of 100 and some damn members, but I appreciate those guys, man. I couldn't do without them. And thanks for broadcasting, everybody at StarCom. We love you. Thanks for making this thing go on.
And so that's your current leader, Michael Cozy Jr., the number 99. And definitely, I think, a good little interview there. Good to talk to your race leader right now mid-race. And that is one of the nice things that we can do here on iRacing, with a little bit of help from some exterior programs, TeamSpeak, Discord, what have you, and bringing that interview to you that time with the number 99, your current leader. And definitely, I think, has a pretty good plan. He said his plan just to win. So we'll see what he can do with that. Currently, your leader, Poindexter, going to be lining up behind him on this restart, though. And I mentioned Poindexter, certainly not a newbie to racing in any way, shape, or form. I was lucky enough to take part in some of the background of the Bojangles Summer Shootout last year, and I heard this guy's name a lot. And if you've been around the Legends Racing, I guess, sphere here around North Carolina recently, I think you've heard that name as well. I don't think we're going to be able to talk to him, unfortunately, but Carson Poindexter, I think, has a pretty good shot of getting up there. I know I'm kind of just taking a name that I really recognize and going with it, but I really do think Carson Poindexter has a pretty good shot here, Cole.
Yeah, and another guy who really has a shot. He's 2 laps down right now, but anything could happen in this race. This is Talladega, after all. Nate Stewart, we commonly see Nate adminning races on our other broadcasts that we do here on Pit Stop TV, but he decided to give it a go. He finished 4th in the B main last night, or, well, the heat races. And he's holding it down in 31st right now, but he said, I talked to him over the break here, and he said the plan is hopefully to get those laps back, get to the front, and win this thing.
That's always the plan, but you never know if it'll go to plan here at Talladega, and it normally never does. But up at the front right now, everything is going according to plan for Michael Cozy Jr., Marshall Newton, Carson Poindexter, Thomas Smalling, and Gabe Herschel, your top 5. As it is right now, as the lights are off on the pace car, so we'll get back going here at the end of this lap.
And so coming to 16 laps to go, as you can see the top left of your screen, and just want to talk for a moment about this new ticker we've got. If you've been watching us for a little while, you might have noticed a bit of a switch from a very horizontal, kind of traditional oval racing ticker to this vertical ticker. Want to know, kind of poll, live poll of the audience here, how it's working out for you. Of course, you can see the top 10 all holding steady, so you can watch the top 10 no matter when it is in the race, you'll see the top 10 on your screen always. And then further back or further down the screen, you have the next 10, so 11th through 20th, and then 21st through 30th. And I think it's working out pretty great. Just want to, of course, get some feedback there. But as we get ready to go back racing, we just talked to your leader, Michael Cozy Jr. He's going to be lining up next to Marshall Newton, who he's been working with a ton so far tonight. But then it's Poindexter and Smalling lining up behind them. And we'll have to see how those two let those leaders maybe get lined up or don't get lined up. We'll have to see how that one works out. Gabe Herschel getting into the mix here. Chris Harefield as well. Elliot Henderson up there. Several good drivers coming back up to the front.
Yeah, and I'm going to be interested to see if Cozy and Marshall Newton try the same thing they did last time. It worked out pretty well for him because Marshall Newton was able to get off that top lane. Michael Cozy Jr. going to bring him down through the triangle, waiting to get the green flag with the pace car already halfway down. There we are. Green flag is back out. Michael Cozy Jr. leads him. Marshall Newton didn't get as well of a restart on the outside, so it's going to be wheel to wheel here heading into turn 1.
Yeah, Carson Poindexter right up on that back bumper of the 99. He was not letting Cozy play any games there or letting Newton get in the line. So Poindexter moves up to second. Newton falling back, dropping like a brick right now, unfortunately for him. And it looks like we got a couple other guys starting to sort it out to the bottom as Poindexter now goes to the outside and tries to take over the lead.
Poindexter up to the top has help from Newton and Smalling up on the top lane, but that bottom lane currently showing strong and showing stronger than the top. Herschel up into P2, Henderson into third, but side by side with Poindexter out of turn 4. Now Poindexter falls to be next to Larrabee, and actually Henderson kind of just decided to make his own lane there. There really was not room to get up in front of Poindexter, but he said, you know what, I'm going to follow Herschel up to the top lane. Herschel takes the lead with help from Henderson, but that shoves some cars up to the top lane, and I'm glad they were paying attention because we could have had a big wreck out of 4, and we might have one and 2. Thankfully, though, it looks like Newton gonna there we go.
Quinn Huff is in it. Big wreck down the back straightaway. We got cars spinning everywhere. Everybody in the inside fence here. Quinn Huff was one of the first cars. I believe Thomas Smalling was the car that actually sparked that. A major wreck on the back straightaway here at Talladega.
You mentioned Quinn Huff involved in several machines destroyed here out of turn number 2. That will at least be the second of 2 fast repairs for Quinn Huff. If he hasn't used the second one yet, we'll try and get a replay on your screen and see what happened here out of turn number 2. Everything was going right. We had a couple of big moments, and then they all saved it. And then, unfortunately, a couple of bumpers were laid to each other, and we saw a couple of cars just go sideways, and it was on from there.
I believe the 3 car of Thomas Smalling was checking up. They got forced 4 wide. Then Thomas went up, saw there was a car there, came back down. I believe that's Smallwood he got into. Quinn Huff was one of the first cars turned into that, and he was turned into the middle of the pack. Tyler Justice is in there, and another car, Craig Arvantes in that. I believe Chris Harefield was in it as well.
And I believe that is day done for Quinn Huff there in the 00. I think he's already used both of his fast repairs tonight, so day done for Quinn Huff here, and it's unfortunate, definitely. And a lot of these guys, it looks like it may be day done with a lot of these guys already using both of their fast repairs in the 3rd of the 3 big ones tonight. And finally, a shake-up up at the front. Guess that's something to mention here. Gabe Herschel now leads with Elliot Henderson in second. I know they've worked together pretty well in the past. So, new 1-2 duo up at the front. Travis Brown 4th, Carson Poindexter 5th, and Michael Cozy Jr., we just talked about him earlier. He's running P3 right now.
So a lot of really good cars taken out of contention there. We mentioned several of them, of course, Quinn Huff in there. We had Smallwood involved, Smalling involved. I think Harefield was there towards the start of it. Some really good cars taken out and unfortunately thrown to the back of the field. Tyler Justice also involved. I know he's pretty quick here on the service. And unfortunately, the number 33, I don't think going to be able to contend from here. We'll see if he can actually get back out there. You see the damaged car coming in for the pits, and we'll see if that car quickly fixes. It does, actually. So put Tyler Justice right back into this battle, actually. He might have something for these guys. 13 laps to go under caution. I'm going to take a quick break. We'll be right back to you. This is Pit Stop TV with live coverage of the StarCom iRacing Invitational.
anytime problems with that motor, buddy. Hey, just between you and me, the idea is to avoid the other cars. Congratulations! You just set the sport back 30 years with that move. That move will put you in the Hall of Shame. You keep doing stuff like that and we're going to lose our sponsor. Looks like that's it for us today. Now I know why you got canned by your old team. It's over. We can't fix that damage.
Looks like your car is toast. You'll need a tow back to pit lane. Press and hold your reset button and we'll come and get you.
I can do this. Come on. Almost there. Come on. Almost got it. Got it. Almost got it. Woo! Told you.
Quinn, we appreciate the enthusiasm, but the truck is definitely much safer.
Yeah. Well, mine's faster.
Good Greek, moving in storage. Your superhero movers.
And welcome back to Talladega's Super Speedway. Gabe Herschel going to be in control of your field here for the StarCom Racing Sim Racing Invitational. We get ready to go back green, coming to 10 laps to go this time around, and these guys pacing down the back straightaway currently. I mentioned Gabe Herschel in control of the field. Elliot Henderson going to line up to his outside. Michael Cozy Jr., we've seen him lead a ton of laps so far tonight. He's currently third. Travis Brown fourth. Carson Poindexter sitting back there in P5. He's not out of this just yet. Jason Larrivee also not out of this thing. We've seen him go to the front, go to the back, go to the front, go to the back, and well, he's back up in the front. Larrivee currently sitting 6th. Marshall Newton still up in the front running. He is 7th. We also have Craig Arvanite is back here. Noel Valero, Jordan Miller, several others. Ryan Ewing even is still in the running here. Andrew Ball, Vincent Picchiotti, Alexander Russell. Several of these guys have had up and down nights, but still in the running. Of course, a couple of fast repairs tonight helping these guys stay in it. Do want to mention Quinn Huff, Derek Cope. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to get back in this one. Derek Cope currently 35th, 22 laps down. Looks like he's had some issues with the simulator tonight. Quinn Huff was just taken out in that previous incident. Currently sits 32nd, 3 laps down under caution, and I don't think we're going to see the 00 back on the racetrack, unfortunately. That being said, coming to the green flag here in just a moment, Gabe Herschel in control of the field. 10 laps to go. It's go time here in Talladega for the StarCom Sim Racing Invitational. Green flag flies in the field. Herschel is off and away.
Elliot Henderson with a good restart on the outside. He's got Travis Brown behind him, but Travis Brown going to hang out Elliot Henderson to work.
Oh, and a big wreck in the back. A big wreck in the back right there. Strakota's involved. I think Harefield is involved. Several others going for a spin.
Well, that's unfortunate because Nate Stewart, if he was involved in that, he would have been the lucky dog car.
Yeah. Quite a few good cars in that one.
So we'll try and get a replay up on your screen. In the meantime, though, that's really going to impact the end of this race because, of course, we're getting down to go time, and to have another stoppage of racing here is really going to put a damper on things and challenge these guys even more and possibly force a couple of more incidents here towards the end of this race. Going to see what we can see here on the replay. We are focused here on Strakota, the number 77, and he actually goes down to the inside, gets a couple of taps, and is trying to slow down and stay behind the 20. I think some slow car is going to cause that, and just cars getting turned up ahead.
Yeah, that was a bit of a weird restart there. That was just, I don't know what really caused that one, to be honest, but it looked like a big stack up there. There was a car that came from the bottom that was Tucker Scanlon. It looked like I think he money shifted the car, came up into Thomas Smalling, and that's what caused the big wreck in the back here.
Yeah, the money shift, that'll do it to you. I mean, we've seen it in real life quite a few times, but not at the super speedways. It's typically at the road courses. I think the last time I remember hearing about a money shift was AJ Allmendinger a couple years ago at Sonoma. So it's very rare to see money shifts at super speedways, but it does happen. Everybody makes mistakes, and of course, this is a race for fun. Of course, yeah, you got a little bit of money on the line, but that's part of it, unfortunately.
Now you bring the money back up, actually $100 worth of an Amazon gift card going out to the race winner tonight, and that definitely could come in handy right now. Of course, some tough times falling upon the world, and that could maybe help you out, maybe get you a movie or two on Amazon, or really, honestly, anything you might want to look for out on Amazon, a good book, who knows what. Maybe a new iPad or something. We'll have to see what these guys do with it, what the winner does with it, rather. Could be a nice little, I guess, morale booster as we go through, of course, the COVID-19 situation in the real world. That being said, we do at least now have an official date as to when we're going back racing in the NASCAR Cup Series and even the NASCAR Xfinity Series and NASCAR Gander RV and Outdoors Truck Series. Those 3 national touring series going to be coming back here in mid-May. Going to be starting off with the May 17th date at Darlington Raceway for the Cup Series. Then the Xfinity Series will leave on May 19th on a Tuesday. And then Wednesday, May 20th, again for the NASCAR Cup Series, again at Darlington. And then they shift to Charlotte Motor Speedway not too long after that. So just keeping things in driving distance of the Charlotte, North Carolina area. And that's certainly going to help some teams get back into things.
Yeah, it definitely will. We're going to have 4 Cup races. I believe I heard within the span of about 11 days there. So that's going to be really fun if you're a race fan. Along with the other series participating in that, you're going to get to see these Cup Series stars, and especially StarCom Racing and their driver Quinn Huff. They're going to be there for all 4 of those races, I believe. So that'll be good to see them on track. Hopefully Quinn can do a good job in that 00 when we get back to racing. Yeah,
absolutely. And as fun as it is going to be for the fans, I think we got to give a tip of the cap to the teams. They're coming back from being off for almost 2 months, and now we're going to be hitting them with 4 races in 2 weeks. It's going to be very, very stressful for these guys. So tip of the cap to these guys. And I know they want to get back to racing just as much as we do, but it's going to be definitely a quick turnaround for these guys.
Yeah, and NASCAR teams were just recently allowed to go back to the shops and work as they're now considered essential employees or essential businesses in North Carolina. So Governor Roy Cooper doing his part there to help the NASCAR cause at least, and that definitely does help things, and obviously allows the teams to prepare for the upcoming races, beginning with May 17th and May 20th at Darlington if you're in the Cup Series, or May 19th at Darlington for the NASCAR Xfinity Series. The Truck Series doesn't return until Charlotte a couple of weeks, or I guess about a week after that. But regardless, just good to see everybody trying to be proactive about the situation. I mentioned Governor Roy Cooper of North Carolina doing his part, NASCAR doing what they can to get things back organized, and the teams were cooperating and giving their feedback on what's going on. Teams such as StarCom Racing, who we have to give a big tip of the cap to for making this happen for us and allowing us to come on board. Granted, we had that issue at the start of the race, but we covered practice up to qualifying. Unfortunately, had that issue, came back. We've covered the race since then. And again, just a big thank you to everybody that I spoke to this week at StarCom Racing to get this organized. Honestly, a really good group of people to work with. I didn't know anybody there going into this week, and now I'd like to think that at least I can consider them decent co-workers, if you will, in a sense. We've been talking a lot throughout the week and doing what we can to organize this, and honestly, just could not be happier to be covering this race. And It's fun to have you guys, of course, alongside of me as we have 7 laps to go under caution here. The pace car light's still on, so we'll have to see exactly when we get back green. It should be this next time around that we take the 1 to go, at least for this caution, and go back green the following lap with about 5 laps to go. As far as the race goes, of course, that's going to push or force the hands of these drivers and force them into some situations that might cause a couple of wrecks here at the end of this race.
Yeah, we could see another big one, just like we saw previously, or well over the last 2 cautions. It's go time now. I mean, this is now the time you have to push to go for the win here. Everybody wants that $100 gift card, so it's going to be interesting to see who gets it and how they get it to get this to finish this race here.
Do also want to thank everybody out there watching tonight. We have about 70 viewers over on YouTube. We have a handful over on Twitch and a handful over on Facebook. Everybody tuning in tonight, you're making this all that much more worth it. We really appreciate everybody showing up and watching this event, even after there's issues at the start of the feature. And of course, got to thank everybody involved here behind the scenes as far as units moving and portable storage, SureFit Company, Superior Essex, Creek Enterprise Incorporated, Mane and Tail Shampoos, Permatex, just everybody who put their effort into this Good Greek Moving, and of course our parent company Whiplash Media, and everybody else who supports Pit Stop TV. Just a really good effort to make this all happen. We now have 6 laps to go. The pace car lights shut off, and the field doubles up, ready to go back racing. And Victor, this is going to be an interesting little restart. Only 5 laps to go. Once we do go back racing, who you got your money on?
I'll be honest with you. I think it's going to be Gabe Herschel. I mean, he's going to be able to control this start here. He's an experienced sim racer. He's been on iRacing for quite so many years, and also goes way back to the NASCAR Racing 2003 days. He's got help from Elliott Henderson, of course. I know they've worked together really well tonight. But I wouldn't count out anybody else in that top half of the field. Michael Cozy Jr., Travis Brown, Marshall Newton, a little bit further back now, but I think all those guys up there, Jason Lavervy, and Carson Poindexter, a lot of these guys got a good shot at it, but I think it's going to be Gabe Herschel taking home the $100.
So as we get ready to go back racing here, Cole, got to ask you the same question. You know, we've seen several drivers get up there and show their hands so far tonight, and several of those drivers get set back in multiple incidents throughout the event. Who do you have your money on here, Cole?
Well, if I was to put money on this, I would probably put it on Michael Cozy Jr. I've just seen a lot out of him being up front. Him and Travis Brown, they've both been up front all race long. Those seem to be the 2 strongest cars, at least working together and out of the top half of the field. So I'm going to go with Michael Cozy Jr. for this one.
So as we come to 5 laps to go, turning over to lap 71 of 75, a 75-lap event following some qualifying and heat racing yesterday. Michael Cozy Jr. was the winner yesterday in last night's heat event, so that could play into this race pretty well. Obviously, Cozy knows what he's doing. The StarCom superfan, the number 99, got all his followers behind the team, and I think that's a pretty good portion, actually, of the StarCom fan base. Of course, he's got some decent amounts of followers himself, so we'll see what he can do on the restart, coming from 3rd place. But Gabe Herschel in control of the field, coming down to the start-finish line to go back green. 5 laps to go. Green flag flies over Gabe Herschel and Elliott Henderson.
Gabe Herschel with a really good restart. Michael Cozy already to the back bumper of the 07 Fitbit Chevrolet Camaro. And it looks like everything behind Elliott Henderson's kind of falling apart. They're 3 wide already. People are trying to go for it. That is Andrew Ball on the outside with help from Alex Russell. The 33 car is back up there. That is Tyler Justice. We saw him in the big wreck with Quinn Huff and all of them earlier, and he's back up in this pack.
And here comes Cozy. He's going to make his way to the outside. I know that's who you got your money on, but don't look now. Here comes Travis Brown right behind him, pushing him. Herschel back to 3rd with Henderson stuck on the outside still. We'll see what happens here. Herschel's going to move up now. That's what I was waiting for, to see if he was going to do that or not. So Herschel and Henderson now locked together.
Whoa! Big
oh, Henderson sideways! And they somehow save it. That was impressive from the entire... Oh, there they go! one car came back up the racetrack and pushed, it looks like that was Avantes into that incident, and kind of just pushed him into the fence, so we'll have to go back and see exactly who that was. I think that might have been Vincent Picchiotti, actually, or maybe his teammate there. I think Andrew Ball running a similar paint scheme. I think it was then Andrew Ball, because it wasn't Picchiotti. I think it was definitely the 06 machine. So unfortunately, some issues here in the trial. We're going to play part into our next caution.
Yeah, that was Craig Arvantes who got turned into the wall trying to avoid all that mess. That was all caused by a little bit of net code there in the trial with Elliot Henderson. That stacked the field up there. And Craig Arvantes, and I believe the number 7, who is that? That is Andy Trepiano. They both went into the wall hard there. And that's unfortunately going to take away Andy's last fast repair, I think. And I don't know if Craig still has his.
Yeah, when we get down to it, there's a lot of people that don't have their fast repairs left. I know, of course, a couple guys up at the front like Travis Brown and Michael Cozy Jr. do have their fast repairs left, but go ahead and explain netcode here to the viewers who might not be familiar with that term. Basically what that is it's coding that iRacing does when you don't have exactly the positioning of a car around you, and iRacing will calculate the position of that car, and sometimes they get it wrong. It's kind of hard to get it right every time, and that's why we see some kind of interesting accidents on the service sometimes, where somebody may not even hit the guy and it'll look like they did hit him.
Yeah, so iRacing, of course, has two different kinds of, positioning of the car. Of course, there's where the car actually physically goes on iRacing's end, and that's why you see some cars make some contact. Obviously, it makes cars make contact, but then you have, of course, where the car is visually, and sometimes that can differ. The prediction code has that difference in it when, say, for example, we're just going to use these two front runners, the 99 and 01 of Cozy and Brown. Say on Cozy's end, he's coming across the track pretty quickly. iRacing is predicting that his car is going to continue into the 01 of Brown, but Cozy at the last second makes an adjustment, pulls the car back left, doesn't actually make contact on his end or visually with the 01 of Brown, but iRacing is predicting that car is going to carry up the racetrack and make contact with Brown. That's where you have netcode. iRacing trying to predict where a car is going to go. It doesn't actually go there, so it looks like they don't make contact, but as far as the car contact prediction code goes, they make contact on the iRacing end, and that's what causes that, unfortunately. It's just part of racing on a simulator. It's not iRacing's fault. It's just sometimes there's certain limitations when you're on a computer, of course. There's certain limitations to how you can do things in real life, certain limitations to how things can be done on the sim as well. All that being said, I think iRacing does a fantastic job with it. We've seen it be issues before, and they've gotten on it, and they have fixed those situations, or at least made it less of an issue. And I think iRacing in recent years, especially with this influx of members recently, of course, losing real racing for these last couple of months, and now we're having to turn to iRacing to put up these events and be the platform for all of this racing. iRacing, with this influx of members, has done a great job, a fantastic job. I can't talk iRacing up enough about how well they've done handling this influx of members and making the sim the best it can be. So as we get ready to go back racing here in a moment, pace car lights still on. These should be for 1 or 2 more laps. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Should be the last one of the night, at least while race cars are on the racetrack. And we'll be right back to you. This is Pit Stop TV with live coverage of the StarCom Racing iRacing Invitational. And welcome back to Pit Stop TV. We're going to get a quick interview in before we go green here. We are on green-white checkered attempt number 1. And we're going to try and dial up the driver of the number 40. It's going to be Jordan Miller. We'll see if we can get a hold of him. And Jordan Miller, do you have a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Jordan, I've had a bit of a request to talk to you from somebody out in the audience tonight. One David Levine has been harping me to talk to you tonight. How's your race going from P22?
It was going pretty good up until about 2 laps ago when I junked myself, but...
Well, go ahead and walk us through what happened. We've seen a couple of events here, and unfortunately, I think you've been on the short end of the stick a couple of times.
Yeah, I've just been trying to ride and bide my time, just kind of stay out of the hornet's nest, and it's bit me twice so far, so we'll see if we can get through these last 2 laps and at least get to the top 10.
Well, as I'm sure you know, of course, NASCAR at Talladega, anything can happen, even in just the course of 2 laps or even 100 feet. So, as you line up 22nd here for this restart, the first green-white checkered attempt, do you think you can get up there and maybe even at least go for a top 10, if not the win?
That's what the plan is. We'll see if it works out in that way or not, or if we end up on the record.
Well, best of luck to you. Real quick before we let you go, who do you have to shout out tonight?
Miller's Auto Body, Speedtown Comfort, Heating and Cooling, and Valvidian.com.
Well, Jordan, appreciate your time. Hopefully you get up into that top 3 so we can talk to you after the race.
Appreciate it.
So that's Jordan Miller, the number 40 car, currently running 22nd. Good to talk to another driver. Currently a little ways back in the field right now, but as we get ready to go back green here, guys, first green-white checkered attempt, and we could take a couple more of these attempts here. You never really know what's going to happen, as I mentioned there. NASCAR at Talladega, anything could happen in 2 laps, even 100 feet, even 50 feet. We could have an incident right here on the restart. The pace car lights are off, dips down into the pit lane. Michael Cozy Jr., your leader, as we go back green here in just a moment, coming through the tri-oval. And, of course, the difference between Daytona and Talladega, that start-finish line is not in the tri-oval. It's out of the pit exit, actually. It's several hundred feet down the front stretch. As we wait and wait and wait for that green flag to fly, Michael Cozy Jr. back in control of the field. Travis Brown to his outside. Poindexter third. Larrivee fourth.
Well, door-to-door off the line there. Travis Brown got a little bit of a nose there on Cozy, but there's a famous quote that goes with green-white checkers, and it doesn't matter how long you can push because it's going to be a green-white checkered. And they're going to be pushing all the way around this 2.66 mile super speedway called Talladega. And Michael Cozy Jr. now takes a decisive lead over the pack. Carson Poindexter pushing him with the 07 of Gate Herschel in line.
Everybody's trying to find a way around Michael Cozy Jr. right now as it stands. Herschel all over the back of Poindexter. We're going to come back around here. Hopefully we can get to the white flag and get this thing wrapped up here. Cozy right now with a demanding lead over Poindexter.
Michael Cozy Jr. going to come around to take the white flag. 1 car in the grass. It's Marshall Newton. They stay green across the line. White flag in the air. Larrivee dips back down to the bottom side. Gives a bit of a touch there to Tyler Justice, who out of nowhere is suddenly 5th place on the bottom side behind Herschel and Cozy on the bottom. Poindexter, the lead down the back straightaway, actually draws even now. Travis Brown in behind him. Justice goes to the top side. They're going to edge ahead. Here comes Brown to the middle. Going to shove Poindexter out of line. He goes up to the top side. No help. It's Cozy and Herschel on the bottom.
Travis Brown on the outside with who is that? Oh, big wreck in the back. There's the 12 car Tucker Scanlon. It's going to be a photo finish, possibly. Here comes Travis Brown behind Michael Cozy. Cozy up to block.
Oh, here comes
wide.
Brown.
Travis Brown at the line. It's going to be Cozy winning the StarCom Invitational at Talladega.
Well, you called it, Cole. You called it. You knew who was going to win it, and that was Cozy by 31 thousandths of a second. Tyler Justice right there, 53 thousandths of a second back of Cozy as well. So a really good finish there for this one. But Michael Cozy Jr. is going to be the one bringing home the money, another $100 in that man's pocket. And the StarCom Superfan gets it done tonight here at Talladega Super Speedway.
And we'll, of course, try and take a look back at what might have happened there out of turn 4. We're going to go all the way back to taking the white flag and see if we can't figure out what happened. You see Larrivee give a bit of a touch there to Newton. It seemed like Larrivee was making a couple of decisive moves, trying to figure out where he could go, and he made a couple of bits of contact there with a couple of cars, the 76 and the 07 there, kicking that white flag, but then these guys got it all figured out down the back straightaway. You see Travis Brown, he ends up shoving the the one car actually, kind of juked him a little bit, shoved him up to the top side, and took that middle lane with help from Tyler Justice, and of course, Michael Cozy, Gabe Herschel on the bottom side. Then we're going to have contact here out of turn number 4. You're going to see what happens here on your screen, and just everything was on from there, and it looks like it's going to be contact from Valero, actually, to the 12 car. I'm not sure who that was in the 12. We'll try and figure that out for you, but just a big wreck on behind him.
Yeah, that was Tucker Scanlon there in the 12 there.
Yeah, and that was actually caused by kind of the pushing the pusher scenario there. The 77 car in the middle there, that was Garrett Strakota in the middle there pushing Gabe Herschel. It looked like the 12 car got on the back of him, and when that happened, it got the 07 on the apron of the racetrack because of a bump from the 77, and then it was on from there. Lots of cars involved in that one, but just an epic photo finish to end out this race.
Yeah, I'm kind of bummed Travis didn't get it, but hey, you know what? That's racing, and only reason why I'm bummed Travis didn't get it was so Cole over here, my buddy, wouldn't be right, but that's just me trying to be a competitive man and say, oh, well, if I didn't get it, he can't get it either.
Showing a couple more times the replay here out of turn 4, the field just going sideways out of the corner and all across the pit entry. Several cars getting through it for some positions. You see Andrew Ball never lifted. He made up a couple of spots there and raced it all the way to the line. Several of these guys never giving up, and that we know of anyway is the only prize that goes out to anyone is going to be for Michael Cozy Jr. winning this race, getting $100 in an Amazon gift card. But these guys still did not want to give up. Bragging rights still on the line for the rest of the field, and they all raced all the way to the start-finish line. That being said, we're going to take a quick commercial break before we bring you right back for post-race interviews with your whole top 3.
I can do this. Come on. Almost there. Come on. Almost got it. Almost got it. Woo! Told you.
Quinn, we really appreciate the enthusiasm, but the truck is definitely much safer.
Yeah. Well, mine's faster.
Good Greek, moving in storage. Your superhero movers.
And welcome back to Pit Stop TV post-race coverage now of the StarCom Racing iRacing Invitational from Talladega Super Speedway. We just saw a wild one finish up in a wild way. These guys tangling out of turn 4 and all the way across the start-finish line, but they got it figured out. They got it righted in a pretty good race to the checker flag. Ends with Michael Cozy Jr. taking the win. Cole, why don't you say we go ahead and bring him up?
Yeah, I'd say so. We're going to try to get him in here if we can. Michael Cozy Jr., you got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, I kind of called it during the broadcast that you were going to win this one. Take us through those last 2 laps there on the green white checker.
All right, first off, I owe a huge shout out to Drive Through. He painted this the greatest paint scheme I think I've personally ever driven, and easily hands down the best paint scheme in the field. A huge shout out to him, dude, because I missed it when I was thinking my sponsor earlier. Anyways, last 2 laps was terrifying. I was doing my best. I was trying to keep the lanes even. I had Travis. I knew he would be a friend and he'd help everybody else. I had no idea. So I just I tried to keep it on the bottom as much as I could, and I kept the lanes even pretty good. I was waiting for somebody behind me to kind of jump out and get that outside lane rolling. That's what I didn't want to see. But it was all good up until 3 and 4. It went by really quick, actually. I thought we were probably going to get another caution, but we went green. And just coming out of 4 there, they got wadded together, and it was honestly the one thing I didn't want to see, because then, the runs are so big in these cars. Travis was covered with a head of steam, and I knew he wanted to win, so I was trying to push him high, and then whoever was in the Sea Glass car, he helped me out a huge bit, because if he would have pushed Travis, he could have pushed him clear past me, but he was going for the win too, and then threw the big block on him there, and it worked out beautifully, just like this beautiful drive-through paint scheme.
Well, that was definitely a beautiful paint scheme and just a great night for you. You led, I believe, probably one of the top 3 most laps led of the race tonight. Does this give you any momentum moving forward into any leagues you may be doing, or just any events in general you may be doing?
Oh, absolutely, because as a matter of fact, I'm racing a Super Speedway League tomorrow night, and we just happen to be at Talladega, so it's always good to knock off the rust, man. Get some run in on the plate tracks, and just get a feel for it. Repetition. Jeez, I'm bad at stroke trying to say. Repetition never hurts. So we'll see how we do tomorrow night. But dude, it was a great run. It really was. Staying up the front, and the plan went perfect.
All right. Well, I know you're probably gonna do a couple more races tonight. So before we let you skedaddle out of here, who do you got to thank tonight for the big win?
Man, once again, I'm still in this paint scheme. I can't get over Drive Through. Shout out to him on Twitter. His logo's on the car. He streams, he's on Twitch. Shout out to him, dude. Such a good painter as well. Indie Racing Images, man, IndieRacingImages.com on the side of the car, man. They do Indiana dirt stuff and prints and canvases of race cars, dude. They're so good. So check them out as well. I got to give a huge shout out to my teammate Travis. Couldn't have done without him tonight, man. I was so happy we got us a 1-2. I wish we both could have won, man. It stinks that I want him to win. He wants me to win, but we both would have win. But 1-2, man, is very satisfying. And shout out to him. And of course, shout out to StarCom, man. My team, it was cool to win this race. It was a cool race with all those guys, everybody who transferred in. And thanks for broadcasting. Thanks to StarCom for putting it on, man. It was a hell of a time.
All right, well, thank you for joining us up here. And once again, congratulations on the win.
Thanks, boys.
All right, so that was Michael Cozy Jr. picking up the big win here at Talladega. And Victor, I think you've got Travis Brown, who came home second tonight.
Yes, sir, I do. I got Travis Brown right here in the broadcast booth. Travis Brown, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Awesome. Travis, one position short tonight. You led the most laps. What could you have done differently to win this thing?
Not really much. I was glad. Me and Cozy just wanted one of us to win it, so I'm glad one of us did. It's even better to go 1-2. Down the back straightaway, I made a move that I thought was going to get me wrecked, and kind of came up through the middle, and was sitting in a pretty good spot, and had, I believe it was 33 behind me. Then they started wrecking on the bottom, and I really thought that me or the 33 had it won there, and we got it to the tri-oval, and I was going to try to fake high, and I was going to shoot back low. But by then the 33 had already gone low and boxed himself in, and pretty much gave Cozy the win. So lucky for us, it kind of got the 33 backed up, so we still got a 1-2. But if we could have stuck together through the tri-oval, me or the 33 would have won it for sure. But I don't know. It all happened so quick. You never really know how you need to play it. Cozy played his cards right, and man, it sucks. I'm happy for him, but when it's that close, I'd almost rather just be boxed in behind him or something, because I was coming. I thought for sure I had that thing won, and then me and the 33 got separated. But just want to thank StarCom for putting this on. I had a lot of fun tonight. I don't do a whole lot of racing anymore, so when I get the chance to like to have fun, and that's what I had tonight. So hopefully they do another one. I'll love to come back and do it again and try to win one.
Yeah, it was definitely fun to watch. Only 31 thousandths of a second separated you from the $100 Amazon gift card there. Besides StarCom, do you have anybody else you want to give a shout out to or thank?
Just Cozy, like I said. He stuck with me, and we always work really good together in plate races and really just races in general. And then everybody watching his stream, everybody's supported me lately. I've had a lot of support with my channel and stuff, and I know a lot of them were watching Cozy's stream, and appreciate you guys broadcasting. And then, like I said, StarCom. Daniel Smallwood worked with me good this week too in the qualifying races, and even a little bit tonight. So shout out to him. But yeah, appreciate everybody watching, and hope to do another one soon.
Yeah, not a problem. Beautiful paint scheme, by the way. Travis with Moon Vision on there.
Thank Victor. I gotta thank you for painting my scheme. See, Cozy forgot to thank. God, I'm a dumbass. I'm sorry. After I race, my mind's everywhere. Cozy forgot to thank his painter in his caution interview, and I about forgot you. But yes, thank you. That is a very, very hot paint scheme. Hopefully I made it look nice out there, but you did a hell of a job on that thing, and I really appreciate you painting it for me on short notice.
Yeah, not a problem. You made me proud with that paint scheme. Thank you again, Travis, for coming out and stopping by.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, that was Travis Brown there in the number 01 Ford Mustang, Moon Vision Ford Mustang. And Andrew, I think you got our third place finisher, Tyler Justice.
We do. To round out your top three finishers, Tyler Justice, do you have a copy?
Yeah, I got you, man.
Tyler, it's been a solid minute since we've talked, and to pull out a P3 tonight in the StarCom Racing iRacing Invitational, how's it feel?
It feels pretty good, to be honest with you. I came in tonight not really expecting a whole lot. I signed up for this thing, and I didn't really recognize a whole lot of the drivers in here, so for me, it's kind of hard to race well when you don't know the drivers or know their tendencies or anything. So we just kind of felt it out there for the first little bit, and I knew we had 2 fast repairs in our pocket, so I was racing pretty hard up there at the beginning and just seeing what I could get. And we ended up missing a couple wrecks there and didn't have to use but one of them because we got in a little scuffle late there in the race, but we were able to get her back on the track, and I think with about 15 to go, we were in like 20-something place, and we're just trying to work our way up through the cautions and everything. And luckily, it all worked out, and we got back up there, and there was a little wreck coming out of 4 on the last lap, and I had a huge run on those 2. And I thought about going with Travis, but I saw Michael was going to go up and block Travis, and thought I was going to be able to sneak through on the bottom there for a second, and then Michael came down with the block, which is what he should have done, and got him the win. But no, overall, I couldn't be more pleased. That was a fun race, and solid third place finish.
Yeah, we noticed you kind of going, making your way up to the front of the field, then falling back, and kind of that cycle repeated itself a couple of times. But for not even seeing your number 33 on the entry list earlier today to seeing you out here and finishing third tonight, I think that's a pretty good change of pace. And tell us about how it was to run in that big pack. Of course, I know you've been and done most of it all here on iRacing, but still, I think that was some really good racing from the pack in general. I haven't seen a good pack like that hold it side by side for so long, so well in quite a while.
Yeah, it was really fun, to be honest with you. You know, when you can get a group of guys and run 3 wide for multiple laps and not really get into each other, and everybody's holding their line pretty well, it's a whole lot of fun here at Talladega. So I had a lot of fun, and hopefully everyone else did too, and we're glad to pull off a third.
Well, Tyler, Cole asked Michael Cozy if it gives him any momentum moving forward into other iRacing events. What does this do for you with third place finish in what could have been a whole lot worse tonight here at Talladega?
Well, like I said, I didn't expect a whole lot coming into tonight. So just with that mentality coming out of here with a third place finish, it's a huge booster for me. And hopefully we can continue to do some more stuff like this and get quality results out of it. And I had a lot of fun tonight. So it's a big boost for me, and I'm excited about it.
Fair enough. Before we let you go, Tyler, who do you have to thank for this run in the C-Glass number 33?
Yeah, I want to thank all my sponsors. I know I ran a C-Glass car tonight. I just thought it was cool, but I don't really have a cup car made up. But yeah, I want to thank all my sponsors at Gearhead Coffee, Matrix Muscle Cars, Amsoil. I want to thank all those guys. Make sure you go to gearheadcoffee.com and use promo code FACE210 for 10% off your order. And thank all my teammates. I know none of them got into this race tonight, but I was just trying to fend for myself out here tonight. But I want to thank them guys as well. Thank everyone at StarCom for putting us on and letting me run. And thank you guys for broadcasting tonight.
Well, we appreciate your time here at the end of the night, Tyler. Again, congratulations on a P3 run. Maybe we'll be talking to you in the future if we have any more of these StarCom events.
All right, thanks, Andrew.
And so that was Tyler Justice, and here at Pit Stop TV, we used to cover a couple of leagues that Tyler raced in frequently, so it's nice to catch back up with him a little bit, see a familiar name out there. We do have one more, not quite a driver to talk to, but we have a guest to the booth. Ryan Daly, do you have a copy?
Yes.
Well, Ryan, I mentioned all the great people that I spoke with throughout the week to organize this event, at least on our end. And you were one of those, and you helped out even just about an hour before the race. As I was doing my last touches on our overlays, you were helping me out to get these logos for all these great sponsors that backed this event tonight, and several other things. And, of course, I had to include you out there in the sponsors for tonight's event because you are one of the sponsors realistically. You're doing a whole lot to help this thing out. And just tell us about what you do for yourself.
Yes, so my name is Ryan Daly, and I am the freelance graphic designer, and I do all this graphic design work for StarCom and design the cars, some promo material, hero cards, all kind of stuff like that. And yeah, so they basically kind of put it on my shoulders, to get this whole race started and everything. And a good buddy of mine, Aaron, he knows a lot about it, and I kind of picked his brain a bit, and we kind of got together and got this race going really last second. We were all learning a lot. I think it went pretty clean, pretty well for it being the first time. But yeah, that's pretty much what I do. I do all the design work. It's really fun. I really enjoy doing it.
Well, we saw a bunch of StarCom-backed cars out in the field tonight with a bunch of StarCom's actual sponsors. I'd have to imagine you were involved with that in some way?
Yes, definitely. So we had to, we got together as a team and kind of, figured out, we had some sponsors that were going to be on cars, for races that ended up getting postponed or canceled. So we were like, we should just, I'll recreate all of the cars, for 2020 sponsors and our people that were going to run the cars with the logos. That way that they could, get some sort of, get their name out there and stuff in some sort of way, and hopefully it worked, and some people saw some of our sponsors and look them up and things like that.
Well, we're showing off this beautiful number 12 machine with mane and tail all over it, pink, yellow, and blue. Might not be thought of as colors that work together, but it looks really, really good on Derek Coates' machine. We saw several others. We saw the Good Greek machine out there. Of course, we saw the Permatex 00 of Quinn Huff out there as well. So some really good-looking cars out of the StarCom stable, and pretty cool to think that you're behind that all and just doing the best for yourself. I believe you're out of Raleigh, and you're working with these guys. I think they're up in Jersey. So, several states apart, still making it work out here. And I guess looking forward, what are your, long-term plans here in the motorsport world?
Long-term plans, I definitely, one of my long-term plans was to, of course, start doing design work for a full-time Cup team, and that kind of happened really quick, and more than anything, I guess my long-term goal now, I just want to continue to enjoy it and just learn new things, and just I want to continue to try to push the boundaries and challenge myself and really try to continue to put out just some of the best work that I can and things like that. And I would love to. I love doing NASCAR stuff. If I could, I'd love to maybe branch out a bit, maybe do some open wheel stuff one day. I've never really had a chance to do that. So if I could just continue just to learn and just have all these experiences and just be happy doing this, which I am now. I completely love it. If I could just keep on doing that, that would be a wonderful long-term goal for sure.
Sounds good to me, man. Best of luck to you with that. Before we let you go, firstly, how exactly were you involved tonight behind the scenes as this all went down? And secondly, who do you have to thank for putting this all on?
Yeah, I have to thank first, of course, the StarCom owners, Mike and Matt, for giving us kind of, free rein as to go about this. They kind of put it on our shoulders. A good friend of mine, Aaron Grosskopf, he helped me get everything set up, and pretty much me and Aaron just did race control during the race. We wanted to, sit back and make sure that, there was a couple people to help people out that, might need some black flags cleared, and just do things like that, and just really oversee and make sure everyone was racing clean and following the rules and things like that. So yeah, just kind of stood back behind the scenes, race control, and everything went good. Had to clear a couple black flags and calm a couple people down, but it was a lot of fun, and I really learned a lot. It was my first time ever doing this in this position, so I could definitely see myself doing it in the future for sure.
Well, Ryan, thanks for your time. Hopefully we're talking to you if there's more events, and if we get to cover more of these things, hopefully we're talking to you then as well. Thanks for what you've done for us this week and tonight. It definitely, I think, minus our issues there at the start of the race, I think overall it went off without a hitch. So you guys did a great job there in race control, making sure this thing went beautifully. And everybody up in Jersey, everybody with StarCom, everybody supporting this event, I think did a really good job. Unfortunately, I think the one weak link was my computer there at the start of the race.
Hey, those things happen, man. You guys did a great job. Really appreciate you coming on board and getting this thing broadcast for us, so everybody at home could watch it and enjoy something tonight. Thanks again. Really appreciate it.
Well, I really appreciate you and everybody else at StarCom Racing. Thanks for your time. Hopefully we're talking to you sometime down the line.
That sounds great, man. Thank you so much, y'all. Have a good night.
And so that was Ryan Daly, not in the field tonight, but behind the scenes, and certainly putting his mark on the field in some of these paint schemes, Cole. And I keep mentioning what the guys what everybody at StarCom Racing did for us this week to get us out here. And unfortunately, we had that issue at the start of the race, and again, can't apologize to everybody enough, but to even just have us out here, even just this once, even if it's just this one race, I think really a cool chance for us. Of course, we all started out as NASCAR fans, and I think that's what the three of us are. And so to just be working with a NASCAR Cup team on this event and doing what we can to give everybody at home something to watch and something to be excited about and whatnot, I think is a really cool opportunity, especially when you bring in a group like StarCom Fiber and StarCom Racing.
Yeah, this was a really cool opportunity. Growing up, personally, NASCAR was kind of my outlet for everything. So to see like a little team putting on an event like this, and I've always kind of supported those little teams. I've always liked them for one reason or another. I've always liked StarCom since they first came into the sport. So it was really cool to get this opportunity. Ryan Daly, though, he paints some of the best paint schemes in all of NASCAR, especially that 00 Permatex car. That is just one of the coolest cars out there. I loved last year's iteration and this year, so really cool to have him up here talking to us. But yeah, it's just neat to see a team like StarCom putting on an event like this, getting guys like Quinn Huff and Derek Cope, the 1990 Daytona 500 champion. Growing up as a fan, you always hear the tale of how Earnhardt cut the tire and Cope managed to get the upset there. So that's pretty cool to see him in the field tonight. But all around, this was just a fun race up here in the booth, especially, and fun race for us to just be a part of in general. So once again, thanks to StarCom for giving us this opportunity.
Yeah, and I gotta say something about StarCom. I was originally born in I was actually born in Connecticut, so the StarCom guys up there in the East Coast, it's kind of cool to see somebody like StarCom come down from the East Coast and form a racing team, because it kind of gives me the vibes of like a Jerry Nadeau or any of those guys from the Northeast coming down to race in NASCAR. It's kind of a throwback, honestly, if you think about it a little bit, and great to see a team like that out there. And it was great to have that event tonight with StarCom Racing, and honestly couldn't have had a better show.
Yeah, I think once we got coverage back online, everything went off without a hitch from there. And really enjoyed our time here tonight. Really enjoyed my time. I'm sure you guys did as well. And really, again, a really cool opportunity for us here at Pit Stop TV to keep working our way up the ranks and keep climbing that ladder here on iRacing, in sim racing. Quickly want to thank everybody once again, though, of course, StarCom Racing, StarCom Fiber, but also Units Moving and Portable Storage that was founded by Michael and Holly. I'm going to try and get this right. McAlany, I think. I'm so sorry, Michael and Holly, if I'm getting that wrong, but during the emerging mobile and storage moving industry, they created that company, Units Moving and Portable Storage. And the company's mission was to provide personal mom and pop type customer service and supply the most innovative and highest quality equipment. Units Moving and Portable Storage delivery system is the most technologically advanced in the industry, virtually eliminating any shifting contents when lifting containers on and off transport vehicles. For more information, please visit www.unitstorage.com. SureFix Companies is a family-owned real estate development and construction business with extensive experience in commercial and residential construction and design. Michael and Gabby SureFix team up on the designs, and Gabby takes care of all the important finishes that attract clients and home buyers from all around the globe. Gabby is also a licensed real estate agent and takes care of majority of those business relations. Superior Essex is a leading manufacturer and supplier of communications cable and accessory products serving the communications industry and related distribution markets for over 80 years. Superior Essex is a trade name for Superior Essex International LP and other companies of Superior Essex. SuperiorEssexCommunications.com is where you can find them and find more information about them. We also got to thank Creek Enterprise Incorporated, an integrated information services company which has been in business since 2003. As a business partner, it is our mission to enable the digital experience for all our clients by designing, developing, and implementing efficient technical infrastructures through many different services, including iServices, ComSpec, engineering, telecommunications, construction, and Creek Plastics. For more information, you can visit the company's website at www.creekenterprise.com. Also have to thank Mane & Tail, makers of Mane & Tail shampoos, including the new Color Protect. Mane & Tail continues to create and provide exclusive hair and skin products renowned for quality and performance in both the equestrian and personal hair care markets. You can visit them at maneandtail.com. Finally, want to thank Permatex. For 110 years, Permatex has been a leading manufacturer, distributor, and marketer of premium chemical products to the automotive maintenance and repair, home, and hardware markets. Products include gasket makers, sealants, cleaners, thread lockers, adhesives, repair kits, and lubricants under well-recognized brand names such as Permatex, The Right Stuff, Fast Orange, Spray 9, Versacam, and DevCon Home. And as I mentioned earlier, go anywhere in any hardware store, auto parts store, anywhere, you're going to see Permatex, and you're going to recognize that beautiful blue and orange, and definitely check them out, buy their products. You can use them anywhere, as you heard right there. Also got to thank Whiplash Media, Pit Stop TV's new parent organization. Whiplash Media specializes in various sim racing resources, including paint schemes, stream overlays, iRacing camera packs, and more. Whiplash Media is also working on its presence in real racing, such as photography, social media management, and public relations. Whiplash Media can currently be found on Facebook at Whiplash Media. And that's pretty much going to do it. We do have one more message, though. This from Good Greek Moving. We'll go ahead and get that on your screen now.
I can do this. Come on. Almost there. Come on. Almost got it. Got it. Woo! Told you.
Quinn, we really appreciate the enthusiasm, but the truck is definitely much safer.
Yeah. Well, mine's faster.
Good Greek moving and storage. Your superhero movers.
And thank you to Good Greek for that message there. Guys, this has certainly been a heck of a race, and that's going to do it for tonight's coverage of the StarCom Racing StarCom Racing Sim Racing Invitational. A lot of racing in there at Talladega Super Speedway. Pit Stop TV, thanks you for tuning in and joining us for tonight's action, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. Join us next Tuesday as we head to Okayama International Circuit with the Lucky Dog Sim Racing League in those Porsche 718 GT4s and the Audi TCRs. Make sure to follow us on Facebook at www.facebook.com/pitstoptv, on Twitter at pitstoptv_, on Twitch at www.twitch.tv/pit_stop_TV, and on YouTube by searching Pit Stop TV. This has been Cole Freilich and Victor Vali in the booth with me tonight. I'm Andrew Cardinelli IV for Pit Stop TV, and we will see you next time here on Twitch, YouTube, and now Facebook. Have a great night. We'll be seeing you then.